hello and welcome to the 158th episode of GameSpeak Podcast. New episodes go up for free feed subscribers every Wednesday in audio format on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Spotify, and all of your favorite podcast platforms, as well as in video format on YouTube so you can see us in stunning high definition, where we need you to hit subscribe and click that notification bell. This show is two childhood BFFs bringing you all things video games. You can find us online at createforsanity.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter to never miss an episode and buy sick t-shirts, hats, mugs, whatever you want from our shop with our cool logo and stuff on it. It's very fancy. Also, be sure to join the community in the Facebook group at facebook.com/group/GameSpeak Podcast to hang and talk games with other nerds like us. I'm one of your hosts, Jamal Jafra, alongside Brent Apocalypse Bass.
Apocalypse Bass. I like that.
Yeah, dude. I'm just trying to keep it,
keeping
topical.
it light,
keeping it topical,
Yeah, pretty relevant. Apocalypse now,
literally,
it's happening.
Yeah, not the movie. We are in the apocalypse.
It's shit's getting real. We're on lockdown in my town. Lockdown in the town. Or not lockdown,
you just
but
have a curfew.
We have a curfew, but I heard it's happening. It's going to happen.
Yeah, every
Houston's
county
happening.
Yeah, Houston's on. They turned it from a what's it called, a shelter in place order. They're calling it a stay home, work safe order. But it's the exact same thing. Yeah. It's like, guys, we get it.
Yeah.
I don't know who they're fooling with that. Like, they're like, maybe the guy who's got like 20 guns packed and ready to go. It's like, he's like, oh, okay. It's not the government taking
they just want us to work safe.
Yeah. That's it's getting pretty crazy out there.
Yeah, shit's getting real. I personally, I hate to admit it, but I've kind of been enjoying the lockdown. I've been just kind of kicking it. I wake up every day and I'm like, oh, I don't have to go to work today. You know what I mean? And granted, I'm out of money and I'm kind of just eating fucking bullshit that I found around the house. But you know what? For the time being, I'm having a good time.
Hey man, I'm glad you can be happy with it. I'm okay with it, but I've had to go to work like every day. Oh. Do like administrative stuff like calls and whatnot, and I go into Kroger like every day. So I feel like I've been in harm's way too many times since this has happened. And I'm type 1 diabetic.
From work though, at least.
Yeah, I'm getting paid. But
that's good, because I'm just completely out of work. They took everybody off the schedule, fucking no money at all. I can't get the new HalfLife game, which is horrible.
The whole reason you
honestly,
bought that thing.
I don't care about food. I don't care about fucking shelter. I don't care about bills. I'm pissed that I can't buy the fucking HalfLife game,
Oh, man.
The good news is I work for Olive Garden, and the, corporate side of things, Darden, has sent this big newsletter out to everybody, and they said that they're going to average our hours for the past year per week or whatever, and then give us 50% of our pay or something.
Damn.
I don't know. It's not going to be much for me, but at
least
it'll be something.
I hope you worked quite a bit this year.
Didn't at all. I've been slacking big time. But I didn't expect pandemics to happen, and I didn't expect it to benefit me if I did. Either way, for the next 3 weeks, I should get a tiny bit of money.
I'm going to send you $10.
Something like that. It's better than not getting $10 though, I guess.
That's true. So. That's true. So you just been holed up,
Yeah, just hold up.
You've been at the house for the past couple days or what?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that. I just don't want to get the Rona, dude.
I also don't want to get the Rona. The most I've done, I've left the house. I went and drove around the prison museum and played Pokemon Go.
Oh, that's nice.
But I didn't
But you kept your social distance.
Yeah. I stayed in the car. I stayed in my little bubble boy, my bubble bubble.
Bubble. Yeah. I feel that. Yeah. I was. Somebody had posted something. I think Haley Beard posted something to the GameSpeak Facebook. Oh yeah, it was like this picture of like a bus station, and there was like nothing there but like a newspaper with the front page like saying like the city's shut down because of whatever. And I was like, we all should start recording audio diaries like in video games and like leave it for whoever survives the COVID-19 so they know what went down. I mean, we have audio diaries. That's what these are. That's why last time I was like, we got to mention what's happening.
How would you realistically do that, though? You'd have to like carry around like 5 or 6 tape recorders with you at all times?
March 25th. I walked outside today.
Would you just leave tapes, or would you leave the whole tape recorder?
Well, if it's like BioShock, you got to leave the whole tape recorder.
Yeah, so you'd have to have like a bag of tape recorders with you.
And you leave them in very convenient places
for
very a protagonist
well
to
hidden,
find it.
but not well hidden. Some just glancing out at you.
Yeah, anyone who's looking for a story will find it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Really, what you want to do is like cut a hole in the bottom of the bag and just let them kind of naturally jiggle
Fall
out
out,
as
yeah.
you just go about your apocalypse life,
And then right as you die, you got to finish out one and let it sit in your dead skeleton's
clutch,
hand.
Clutch it. Along with some kind of legendary weapon. You have to have like a really dope gun in one hand and like your last audio log.
You just got a
Glock
in your left hand. And like, wow, thank you.
Make sure you're wearing some really good armor too so your skeleton just has some like dope armor on it.
You're just wearing a full Gucci suit and then like you just have a Glock
because like this is
real life.
Yeah, you want to die right in front of a chest of your like most personal belongings.
It's like I fought tooth like in the last audio diary. It's like I fought tooth and nail to protect all of my belongings, but now they belong to you, distant future stranger. You open it up and it's just like some SpaghettiOs and
yes, dude.
But they're infected with
COVID-19.
COVID-19.
We would leave the best audio logs for the future. Apocalypse leaders. Did you hear that fucking North Korea shot fucking one of the only person who had COVID-19 over there? They got a guy with COVID-19. They just killed him. They're like, fuck it.
I'm surprised they have tests for it over there. Like, I'm surprised they even had a way to test it. Maybe he just sneezed or
they
something.
Were just like, hey, dude, sorry, bro.
He came in and he's like, man, y'all getting a sore throat like I am? They're just like...
Anybody else have COVID-19? I don't know why they turned Russian all of a sudden.
No, my gosh. So they just shot him. That's not a joke? That really happened?
It's not a joke. I had to look it up because I was like, damn, is that for real? But they really did that.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy over there. I know, like, that Kim Jong-un's uncle or something, like, whenever, like, he was tried for something and then put to death or sentenced to death. And the way that they killed him was that they strapped him to like this, to like a kind of like a thing that they would tie witches to back in the day. And then they fired off, artillery shells at him and like blew him to bits with artillery. Well,
that's probably, I mean, that sounds horrible, but it's probably pretty quick. You get shot with like a fucking artillery shell.
Well, what if it just hit the ground and you just got shrapnel to pieces? Like
I still think it would be faster than like typical firing squad, or maybe
true.
Like
Yeah, they just have bad aim.
The electric
keep hitting
chair.
your shoulder and shit. It's like, oh, fuck,
yeah.
come on, bro.
The only thing I can think that would be quicker and more painless would maybe be like, just like a guillotine or something.
Oh, yeah. As long as it's sharpened.
Yeah.
You don't want one of those dull ones. Anyways,
we're getting dark over here. Yeah.
Hey, that's the world we live in right now. But some things that I did this week, I actually started streaming since there's nothing to do. I was like, man, I have plenty of free time. I'll stream some. And then our friend Christina Rogers, aka Raging Fat Goose, also joined in, and Josh was there, and we played some fun games. We actually played like the Jackbox Party Pack like over the stream.
Oh, fun! Y'all all played it together.
So we were all playing it. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good time.
But y'all go check out Raging Fat Goose on Twitch as well, because she's been streaming daily, and she's playing Neo 2 right now, which is pretty tight.
Speaking of friends of the show doing fun, exciting new shit, our buddy Chris Beep has a new channel on YouTube. He does Oculus stuff now, so if you want to check out his new channel, you can type in Mr. Oculus, all one word. And
wow, I'm surprised that was not taken.
I know, right? I want to get him back on the show, maybe talk to him about what he's been doing the past little bit, but
like a year and a half
yeah,
or so.
It's been a while. He's got a whole new thing going on over there. So
well, I'm gonna steal the name Miss Oculus. Anyways, you do anything? Or are you ready to jump into the news?
I didn't really do much. I just kind of sat there and wished I could afford Half-Life.
You play any movies? You watch any movies?
Play any movies? No, not really. I'm trying to think.
Damn, you're playing games
I'm
though,
playing
right?
Games,
okay.
dog. But let me think. What have I'm sure I have watched a movie. I watched one that was kind of good. 13 Cameras. Have you ever seen 13 Cameras?
Is that like 13 Ghosts, but about cameras?
No.
Okay, but
it's not the best movie ever. It's about this like creepy landlord guy who like is watching his tenants through these cameras he puts in the house, and like he's like a killer. It's kind of good, Not the best, not the worst,
It's alright.
It's alright.
Have you started watching that Lion show, like with
I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, what's his name? Joe Exotic.
Yeah, that was wild. I watched a little bit of it. I haven't watched the whole thing.
Pretty crazy. Anyways, let's jump into the video game news.
Yes.
Just so you guys know, we are using articles from gaming news sites from around the web, and we do not claim any of the material as our own. We are simply giving commentary on said articles and just bringing them all to you. We're going to start with, I guess we should probably jump into the PlayStation thing, since that's probably the biggest news, and it happened right after we finished recording last week's episode.
Yeah, go ahead and start talking about it. While you're talking about it, I'll pull up a direct comparison between PlayStation and Xbox, and we can kind of get into a little bit of analytical detail here,
Oh, yeah. I love getting analytical, dude. Hold on. So, where is it at? Okay, so this is by way of Peter Brown at GameSpot. Not long after Microsoft brought to light a ton of new info on Xbox Series X, Sony announced that it would broadcast a video featuring Mark Cerny, lead console architect behind PS5, diving deep into the next-gen console tech that would define, quote, the future of gaming, end quote. For many, it's about time, as there's very little known about PS5 in the lead-up to this presentation. Now that the broadcast has passed, what did we learn? It was a dense presentation by Cerny that outlined an incredible number of details and data points.
It was incredibly boring.
Yeah, it was. But it may have been hard to follow if you aren't at least somewhat familiar with the rapid-fire delivery of terms and concepts. To help distill all that valuable specs info down into something digestible, Peter Brown, got all this stuff together. So it says, let's start with the most familiar PS5 talking point thus far, loading time, or rather the lack thereof. For PS5, Sony's target bandwidth for its SSD is a whopping 5 gigabytes per second. In very rough terms, you can expect games to boot levels to load and travel, or fast travel sequences, if they are even required anymore, to transpire 100 times faster than on the PS4. In other words, Sony is more or less promising to make staring at loading screens a thing of the past. Sony is able to reach for such high transfer rates because it has developed custom drive controllers and accompanying technologies built specifically for PS5. Part of that is the size of the drive itself. According to Cerny, at 825 gigabytes, the drive's flash configuration is perfectly suited for the flash controller, which consists of son of a bitch. I just hold on, give me 1 second. I just hit the top button and just flew to the top of the page. Okay.
It happens to the best of us.
It seems to. It seems to only happen to the best of us. Me and you. You know what I'm saying? No, but 825 gigabytes. The drive's flash configuration is perfectly suited for the flash controller, which consists of, in part, a 12-channel interface. The size of the drive was also determined in part by player behavior, by looking at collected data from the 100 most popular PS4 games. Cerny said his team believes that, given the advancements in its SSD tech, people will be more comfortable cycling game installs in and out of their console in the future, and that 825 gigabytes should be enough for typical player needs under these circumstances. If that's not enough, you will also be able to add your own SSD of the M2 variety into a bay on your PS5. However, support will be limited to certain drives based on their form factor and performance ratings. PCIe IE 4.0 support is a must. Cerny made clear that despite working with AMD's familiar RDNA 2 GPU architecture, the two companies were devising custom implementations suited specifically for the needs of PS5 and Tandem. PS5 is not using an existing part from AMD and simply putting it in its next console, and in fact, the findings that come from this partnership are likely to appear in future PC graphics cards from AMD. Cerny noted that AMD took the issue of backwards compatibility very seriously when developing the PS5's custom chips, and that it's a given to be a part of every future iteration of PS5 hardware. There's no extra hardware involved, as there was in the case of the early PS2-capable PS3 consoles. However, because the performance increase for things like storage, RAM, and GPU functions from PS4 to PS5 is so dramatic, not every PS4 game is able to simply work out of the box. Testing has to be done on a game-by-game basis, and Cerny claims that Sony has put the top 100 PS4 games based on playtime through the paces, and he expects almost all of them will be supported on PS5 at launch. Cerny spent a large chunk of the time focused on PS5's 3D audio capabilities based on a custom solution developed by his team. This is both a hardware unit and a collection of proprietary algorithms collectively referred to as Tempest 3D Audio Tech, named for the conceptual intensity of a powerful audio experience and for the sense of presence that comes from an effective 3D audio experience. The hardware piece of Tempest is designed around GPU tech. Basically, what they're talking about with this 3D audio thing.
Oh, I know exactly. It's like they already use it for VR. That's part of why they have to have that processor box for the PSVR.
Okay.
The 3D audio is like a spatial audio. It's got depth and it's like normal headphones. You can hear if it's coming from your left or your right or behind you or Yeah. But this is
it can come from 100 different points.
Yeah, and not only that, but variable distances and stuff. It's really, really high tech with the audio, and it makes a big difference in gameplay. It really does.
Yeah, and they said that everybody's ears are different, so that it will come with 5 different audio options at launch to target the most common hearing related variables among its hundreds of test subjects. Moving forward, he theorized that users may eventually be able to send Sony a photo of their ear or a video of their to be run through a video of their ear to be run through a neural network, which can calculate a new profile based on your unique characteristics.
Holy shit.
Yes, that sounds like a pipe dream. That's not going to happen. It's an open-ended research topic, he admits, so the future of the tech as it relates to PS5 is somewhat up in the air. So that's all the stuff that really went down. That's the major stuff. Brent, give us the comparisons, because the PS5 is pretty whack in power when it comes to the Xbox One, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the Xbox One is obviously gonna pump out a better looking stuff. There's a lot, basically the only thing that the PS5 does better is data transfer speeds through just throughput. You know what I mean? And they're getting way, way higher speeds than Xbox at that. With that, you're getting 5.5 gigabytes a second raw, just throughput. Raw. Whereas with Xbox, you're getting 2.4 gigabytes per second. But, I mean, even still, that's just going to affect, load time slightly. So you're going to have a little bit longer of a load time on Xbox, but
Which might
better
be
picture.
A millisecond,
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're splitting hairs because, the jump to SSDs is going to make, all the load times dramatically different. PlayStation's big thing is that they've got this proprietary SSD that's supposed to be a super fucking hard drive, you know what I mean? So they're really counting on the load speeds making up for their slightly decreased visuals.
Yeah.
That being said, I do think they're both incredibly powerful.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
they're both gonna be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, if they price it right, these are both gonna be really, really good options.
I still say it's going to be $500, $499, or
I think you'd be a fool to price it higher than $500. I really think that they should both be around $500.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You can't do $600 because then you might as well just go buy a PC.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
They both have the same amount of RAM. They both have very similar hard drives. I mean, it's pretty close, but Xbox has definitely got a little more bang to it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
it'll be interesting to see. like I said, they both seem like good options. Right now, the comparison seems about like how the Xbox One was slightly less powerful than the PS4 and the last generation of consoles whenever they launched.
Yeah.
Like, it's like barely noticeable, I think, is what you're going to end up with. Because, like, I don't know, like PS4 was definitely more powerful than the original Xbox One.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's why they came out with the One X and tried to fucking be like, we're the most powerful console that ever existed. Yeah, the flops are there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
the flops are there. But yeah, I guess we don't really have to go into the details of the comparisons because
no, I mean, there's not really much to it. I mean, they're really pretty much neck and neck on most things. So I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they play like, you know.
So what you got over there?
Oh, let's see. Let me move back to the
news.
world over here. First of all, I just want to say I'm super excited about HalfLife Alyx. I know I've said this like 50 times, but it's got like a 10 out of 10 on IGN. It's like one of only like 40 games ever to receive a 10 out of 10 from IGN.
It only got a 9 on GameSpot.
I know, they're tripping over there. But they only do they don't do like 9.5s or anything. So,
No.
I mean, you're either getting a 10 or you know what I mean? Like,
but they also gave Doom an 8, Doom Eternal an 8, and IGN gave it a 9 something. You know, so like I feel like they're always like a little bit more critical than IGN.
What,
So,
GameSpot?
Yeah, GameSpot.
Maybe, you know, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of one of those eye of the beholder things. But on Metacritic, it's sitting at like a fat 92 right now from the critic reviews. So, I mean, that's pretty good. You know what I mean?
That sounds good.
Anyways, I'm just excited that we finally have this, killer app that's pretty much universally like, okay, this is a good game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, my brother-in-law like sent me a message the other day and was like, I guess because of everything that's going on, he's like, man, he's like, I tried to get a Quest, but they were sold out, and I thought,
yeah, it's bad, dude.
I thought he was talking about because like I told him the other day about Quest Pizza, so like I thought he was talking about the Quest Pizza, and I was like, yeah, bro, I was like, all the pizzas sold out, like I was like, the Rona's got it. But no, he was talking about the Oculus Quest. He was actually about to buy one and then couldn't find one. I told him to go to the website, but you'd be on a waiting list, and he was like, yeah, he's like, I probably don't need it right now. So
yeah, it's bad, dude. The wait is like real right now. I'm glad I got it when I did, and even then it was hard to get. I can only imagine how hard it is right now. Like,
yeah, because people want it while they're stuck at home,
I mean, even the like official link cables are sold out right now. You know what I mean? Even, what's more surprising than the Oculus Quest being sold out to me, though, is that Valve's Index is sold out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, they're making that money.
Like, I know that, like, they just dropped the game, whatever, but, like, dude, that's like $1,000 piece of hardware. Like, I'm amazed that they're managing to sell enough to where they're like out of stock. You know what I mean? Like,
they might just be doing artificial demand just to like
maybe
pump
the
up those
coronavirus.
numbers. Yeah,
but still, like, damn, that's pretty good. Like, I'm glad that they're doing okay with their hardware sales. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I figured everybody would just buy an Oculus Rift or something and play Half-Life.
Nah. I mean? Yeah, people want those finger controllers.
Yeah, those index control. Yeah, for sure. Anyways, but on to some real news. Let's see. Inspired by the actions of Ryan Reynolds and Jimmy Fallon, who have both made big donations to charities helping people affected by COVID-19, Ninja and his wife/manager, Jessica Blevins, however you say their name.
Yeah, it's Blevins.
Blevins, yeah. Have pledged $150,000 to Feeding America. In a video, the Mixer streamer announced his own donation as well as encouraging those who still have spare cash to donate as well. They're also using Ninja's social influence to promote measures to flatten the curve, reiterating how important it is to take coronavirus seriously and practice social distancing. So good on you, Mixer. I mean, not Mixer. Whatever.
Good on you, platform.
Good on you, whatever your name is.
Yeah,
Ninja.
Mr. Ninja Blevins.
Mr.
Yeah,
Ninja.
He's like the Steve to kids now, like from Blue's Clues. So
what?
He really is, dude. Kids love Ninja, bro. He's like that's what they watch. They don't watch TV anymore. They watch Ninja. Like,
damn.
I told you he's got like during the day he doesn't cuss or anything. Because he's like, he knows all the kids are watching. He has like a time where it's like Ninja at night where he switches like, okay, from this point on I'm cussing and like I'll drink and stuff. whatnot. But during the day, he like won't say cuss words or anything like that. It's pretty weird.
Huh.
Yeah, like
that's pretty good though. That's probably a good decision business wise. You know,
he's working on it, dude. You go to the toy aisle in Target, and there's like plushes of him.
No fucking way.
Yes, dude.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Like, there's like he has like this weird little like character that is him. It's like his head with like a headband, and then like his hair is like all sticking up and whatnot. But like you can buy plushes of it and stuff like that.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's super popular. Yeah, so the kids got to listen to him. Whatever it takes.
I mean, that's but plushes.
Yeah, dude. I want a plush. I want a plush of me, but I
want a plush of me too, but not of Ninja.
No, but kids do.
No.
Yeah, dude.
No, kids should not. They need to like. What happened to like liking Harry Potter and stuff like that? Now
I'm sure they still like Harry Potter. They're just not watching TV,
bro.
They're watching movies, but they're not watching TV. They're like they're on YouTube. Like watching shit on YouTube.
Oh man. Surely these Ninja plushes aren't selling very well. Surely.
Oh, you're crazy, bro. You're crazy. You're crazy. Anyways, Let's see what else we got here. Jenny Zen at GameSpot says, during the week of March 16th, GameStop made the decision to keep retail stores open during the coronavirus outbreak, even in states that required all non-essential businesses to close their doors. Its internal memo to workers instructed managers to inform any questioning authorities that GameStop views itself as essential retail. GameStop has decided to reverse that decision and announced that it will close its retail storefronts, go entirely digital on orders, and will offer curbside pickup at stores and delivery options. Quote, we have been steadfast in our adherence to CDC-guided safety and local government orders for retailers in each of our communities. As millions of Americans look to GameStop to adjust to their new normal of increased time at home for work, learning, and play, we have implemented practices to help ensure the safety and health of our employees, customers, and partners. George Sherman, GameStop's chief executive officer, said in the press release, we believe it is prudent to institute further safety protocols while meeting this increased demand through curbside pickup. As such, stores that remain in operation will provide only pickup at the door or delivery to home activities to further protect our employees and customers. The company will also pay employees whose hours have been eliminated for an additional 2 weeks and will reimburse 1 full month of employee benefit contributions. Additionally, the company has stated that any U.S. GameStop employees have been ensured that they do not have to work if they are not comfortable and should stay home if they feel sick. I'm not going to say his name, but we had an insider, a manager at one of these stores, hit us up about this before this went live, that they were gonna, change their tune about this whole thing. But yeah, this is not them, suddenly having a change of heart. This is them not wanting to get fucked with by the government, because actually, in Pennsylvania, the governor was like, no, fuck y'all. And he actually he suspended certain stores licensing, like their operational license. So they
wow.
Yeah, but he was like, yeah, you guys from this point on, he's like, until I tell you can be a GameStop again, you can't. So he was like, yo, fuck y'all. Got
him.
Yeah, which is really funny because GameStop was like, we're an essential store. Like, no, you're fucking not.
Yeah, not at all. Not even a little bit. First of all, Walmart is open. You know what I mean? So fuck you guys. Second of all, digital games are a thing. I'm sorry. And so even if games were super, super essential, there's other ways to get them.
Oh, yeah.
That are already open and available.
Safer?
Yeah, safer.
And that's the thing though. What this is them realizing they're not going to survive through coronavirus.
No.
And they were like, fuck.
This is it for them.
I honestly think after coronavirus is over, there will no longer be GameStop.
If they were smart, they would be liquidating their assets right now and fucking trying to figure out a way to go all digital or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like after they mentioned that thing about telling their managers to tell the police officers or local authorities to call their corporate office, I feel like Reggie was like, I gotta go. He's like,
my body is no longer ready.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so Well, goodbye, GameStop. It was nice knowing you.
ya.
You know, I hope everybody who worked for GameStop can find another job.
The good news
after
is,
this.
I bet when Corona, clears up, they'll be having the going out of business sales. So you might want to check in at your local GameStop after all those clean up. You know what I mean?
Clean up shop, bro. Anyways,
Okay.
what you got?
A little more positive news over here.
Ooh.
Activision Blizzard released a remastered version of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare back in 2017.
What?
And the company appears primed to give its sequel the same treatment. The South Korean ratings board has apparently leaked the game, suggesting that the fan-favorite sequel might get an updated re-release. The Game Rating and Administration Committee, GRAC site, has a listing for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered, registered on February 26. Given the name, this is just a remaster of the campaign, not the multiplayer. Modern Warfare Remastered did include its own game's multiplayer with new tweaks and achievements. This doesn't necessarily mean that it will be missing from the final Modern Warfare 2 Remastered product, though as that listing could simply be separate. So, that's kind of exciting. I know that a lot of people, when Modern Warfare 1 Remastered came out, everybody was like, oh, that's cool and all, but Modern Warfare 2 is where it's at, you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
I think this will,
Well, it's just the campaign, apparently.
Well,
so.
I'd be surprised if they don't tack on some sort of multiplayer, especially since the most iconic part of the game is that terminal. No Russian, too. Dude, that's going to be full HD, dude. They can't. I wonder if they'll cut that out. Nah.
Well, it was full HD at the time. It just wasn't.
It'll be like
4K.
You know what I mean?
And that native 4K.
Have that ray
60
tracing
frames per
dude,
second. Watching everybody explode. Like, this time we added children. No,
what if they make that like a launch thing? For like the next gen consoles. Like, what if they like really remaster the fuck out of it? You know what I mean? Like,
it'd be cool.
Like native 4K looking ass.
Yeah, looking ass. Anyways, Haley Williams at GameSpot says, while governments normally have to put together elaborate campaigns to get kids off their computers and outside to exercise, the Polish government is now doing the exact opposite. With the COVID-19 threat spreading through Europe, Poland has created a public Minecraft server to encourage kids to do their socializing online. The Polish government has launched Gwarantana, a learning hub that contains the Minecraft server and other fun but still educational activities. It includes a game jam, the Minecraft server, online TTRPG sessions, and webinars and quizzes on Polish history and geography, made a little more enticing with prizes for the best quizzers. Poland has been proactive in its response to coronavirus, shutting all schools, museums, and cinemas on March 11th and introducing comprehensive border checks. Now it's looking to provide all these bored kids with something productive to do. Quote, it's neither a vacation or a holiday, the Gwarantana warns. The Minecraft server isn't just for the younger kids either. Students from elementary schools, high schools, and colleges are encouraged to log in to build the digital world together. Each player in the server gets a 60 by 60 plot to let their imagination run wild, and the best creations will be showcased and rewarded on March 30th. The server is organized by the Neverlight Association, a Polish organization involved with esports, game tournaments, and board game publishing in Poland. That's cool.
That is cool.
I like how Minecraft is like just fucking like saving so many people right now, like their minds at least,
Yeah, and I've noticed like other social apps have been doing really well, especially in VR. Like there's all these like social apps with VR, like VR chat and big screen and Rec Room, and I've noticed that usually they're like semi-populated, but like recently you go up in there, it's just packed to the brim.
Everyone's like,
what I mean?
yo, what's up, bro? It's like, you're new here. Nobody wants them. No, like that's pretty cool though. Like I think that is some of the positive things that are coming out of this is that I think what's going to happen after this is that people aren't going to go back to the way things were. People are going to realize how digital we could already be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like so many places that were like, we could never work from home, like now they're figuring out like, oh shit, like we could just have people work from home.
Yeah.
Like I have a feeling a lot of the employment landscape is going to change. Like, I feel like more places are going to offer from home, work and stuff like that.
It's definitely interesting, and thank God we have internet in this situation. Like, can you imagine if this had happened in like the 80s or something? It would be,
we'd all
so
get
fucking boring,
coronavirus.
dude.
We'd be out skateboarding, like just fucking trying to die. We'd be in arcades getting coronavirus day one, bro.
Dude, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's thank God we got technology to get us through.
For sure.
All right, let's see. A new next-gen headset is in the works, and while nothing concrete has been announced about what it'll be able to do, it's coming from some heavy hitters. The headset, literally just called Next-Gen HP VR Headset, on its own Steam page.
I wonder what a next-gen VR is.
is being worked on by Valve, Microsoft, and HP.
Damn, they all joined together.
Yeah.
They were like, fuck it, guys. Let's just make the next thing.
Bro, I mean, like, okay, so I know Valve and Microsoft have already had some talks. You remember whenever Pete Hines was talking about how he had already played HalfLife Alyx and stuff?
Yeah.
What if this headset, and maybe I'm just crazy here, but what if this headset is made by Microsoft and Valve collaboratively to like function with like next generation Xbox consoles?
I mean, that would be amazing.
You know what I mean?
Even though Phil Spencer was like, "Yeah, we're not working on that."
I think he's just trying to dampen expectations, in case they don't do that. Like,
I hope so.
This could just be like an experimental thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but I feel like the technology's there. The it's got enough power easily.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I honestly think that's going to happen. So
if they could develop some kind of plug and play and maybe some kind of deal with Valve, that's the real thing. Is like if you could come up with some kind of deal,
dude. If they got exclusivity to Half-Life on like Xbox VR,
everybody would be like, "Fuck PlayStation VR." Dude.
Straight up, everybody would go to Xbox.
Not to mention the Half-Life Alyx is doing so well. I'd be hard pressed to think that Valve won't release other awesome exclusive VR titles. You know what I mean? Which
That's what I'm saying. You might get your Left 4 Deads or whatever.
And it wouldn't do anything but help Valve as a game maker because, they just have an extra platform to put their shit on. You know what I mean? Like, they're already doing well on Steam. Imagine if they could breach into the console market. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Bro, I don't know. It's just a fun thought. And then HP, they're probably just excited to be involved. Like,
I mean, I feel like HP's like one of the biggest companies in the world.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Mr. Hewlett Packard over there.
No, but it's gonna. I don't know. It might be a banger, dude. They said it's here. This is a quote from the company. It says, "Developed in collaboration with Valve and Microsoft, the next-gen HP VR headset delivers a more immersive, comfortable, and compatible experience than previous generations." It reads, "This is the new standard in VR." So it's there. It seems like they're trying to do something like next level, like...
They better be. You don't put Valve and Microsoft together and not make next level.
Bro, for real.
So, Alessandro Barbosa at GameSpot says, "It's now been over a decade since Left 4 Dead 2 launched, and according to Valve, that wait will continue for the foreseeable future."
Fuck.
Yeah. In an interview with IGN, the developer has confirmed that it is absolutely not working on another game in the franchise. Valve's official statement on the matter says as much, mentioning that while the studio has looked at ideas for another entry into the franchise, no such project is currently being worked on. Quote, "We did briefly explore some Left 4 Dead next-gen opportunities a few years ago, but we are absolutely not working on anything Left 4 Dead related now, and haven't for years."
Can I elaborate on that real quick?
Yeah.
I saw this interview with one of the Valve guys, and they were talking about how before Half-Life, they were experimenting with different like IPs to do in VR.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was Left 4 Dead. And they said that the only reason they didn't do Left 4 Dead is because the monsters were like too scary in VR, and they didn't want to like run people away from their fucking like product.
That's stupid.
Well, the whole article that I was reading was about how they had to take monsters out of Half-Life because they were too scary. Like, you know what I mean? Like the game is already too scary, and like they made it less scary than it already is. Like
that's dumb to me. It's like, keep it scary.
I mean, I feel that, but you don't want like a horror game with Half-Life, and maybe with Left 4 Dead, keep it scary. But
I feel like the first Half-Life was kind of a horror game. It was like a mix of horror and sci-fi. You know, like
fair enough, but you don't want like to keep people from playing altogether. You know what I mean? Like,
sure, I guess, whatever. You know, Half-Life is such a hardcore gamer thing, though. You know, it's like people are going to play it no matter what.
True, but I feel like there's a lot of people that put Resident Evil 7 down because it was too scary in VR. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
like I feel like maybe 50% of the people didn't get past the beginning part. You
but
know
there's
what I mean? Like,
there's no way the Half-Life creatures were scarier than anything in Resident Evil, bro.
yeah, okay.
There's no possible way.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
They put so he said we used parts of a Left 4 Dead level as the first bit of a level geometry to start building in Source 2, so a bit of that got out. Walker explained it was essentially a rendering test, and people thought that meant we were working on Left 4 Dead. There were groups here who would generate a product in mind that would attempt to be a target for Source 2, and so a couple of those were Left 4 Dead related things, but none of them reached the point where we were like, now this is a product team that we're going to build a big product around. They were more tools for moving Source 2 forward, is what he says about all the Left 4 Dead stuff. So that's it on Left 4 Dead. What you got?
Oh, let's see. Okay, more video game companies doing good things. As more people stay home and are looking for new things to do, the developer of Lord of the Rings Online have announced that they are expanding what's available to play for free. Through April 30th, all quests, instances, and skirmishes will be available for everyone to play for free. This includes content previously locked behind paid expansion packs. Additionally, the special vendor who only carries certain items during certain times, the Curator, is now coming back between March 26th and April 30th. What's more, the Lord of the Rings Online is offering a 10% XP boost from March 26th to April 6th. Finally, the Baggins birthday event is coming to Lord of the Rings Online March 26th through April 6th as well. The blog post announced these events also include a passage from the Lord of the Rings, the blog post announcing these events also included also included a passage from the Lord of the Rings that resonated strongly during these times. Quote, "I wish it need not have happened in my time," said Frodo. "So do I," said Gandalf, "and so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us."
And I'm going to play Lord of the Rings Online with that time. Yeah, as much as people want to say that this is them being, genuine and like heartfelt, it was more like, oh shit, dude, we got to get people hooked right now. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to make a bunch of this shit free. We're going to bring in all the good shit, and then as soon as the COVID shit is over, they're going to be hooked and they're going to start paying for it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, maybe, I guess, but they're also doing it with Dungeons and Dragons too, which is cool. I mean,
everybody's trying to get in on
it's the same developer,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know, man. Like, they're not making any money off of this until I guess
after COVID-19, and they've hooked like half, like 2 times the population that was already in there. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I just think that it's kind of weird to put it in this light that they're just doing this genuine, heartfelt thing to help people out. What it is it's marketing. It's straight up marketing.
I guess. I don't know. Still, they didn't have to do that.
It's like if it's an MMO and you're just making some parts of it free, it's marketing.
I mean, they're already going to have like a player count boost, what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like,
but no, they will have a player count boost, but I think this is their way of getting new, fresh meat in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like fresh money.
Well, I guess there's no better time to jump in than right now. I mean, if you're going to play,
For sure. Jeremy Winslow at GameSpot says Splash Damage, the studio responsible for the first-person parkour shooter Brink and the multiplayer components for both Gears of War 4 and 5, has announced that it's partnering with Google to develop an exclusive title for the company's cloud gaming service, Stadia. Quote, "We're thrilled to finally announce that we're working on an exclusive title in partnership with Google Stadia," Splash Damage wrote in a brief blog post. "At Splash Damage, we're always looking to innovate and always looking for partners and platforms to allow us to do just that. We've been huge fans of Stadia Liars ever since it was announced and have been amazed by both the technology and passion for gaming that the Stadia team has. Quote, "We're excited to share more with all of you about this project in the coming months." End quote. It's unclear what the studio is working on with Google, but Splash Damage tends to work on multiplayer-focused projects. It's like, Your PR guy's working double time. We love Stadia. Everything about it.
Stadia's so great.
When like literally everyone who's messed with it has been like, this is fucking terrible.
We're here today to announce our partnership with Stadia and the death of our company. Okay, cool. So we got okay, so this sounds like a really mundane article when you're just reading it, but if you really think about what's being said here, this is some really heavy implications and shit.
Send it my way.
I will send it your way. Valve president Gabe Newell recently opened up about returning to the Half-Life universe after so many years and how technology will continue to shape the future of the company. In an interview with IGN, Newell makes a comparison to The Matrix, the 1999 sci-fi thriller, and just how close we are to some of the technology in terms of computing. He is, of course, referring to the technical side of how The Matrix works as a form of VR, not the robots enslaving humanity as a giant supercomputer.
Or using human bodies as giant batteries.
Yeah. We're way closer to The Matrix than people realize, Newell says. It's not going to be The Matrix. The Matrix is a movie, and it misses all the interesting technical subtleties and just how weird the post-brain-computer interface world is going to be. It's going to have a huge impact on the kinds of experiences that we can create for people. Newell believes that brain AI interface will be revolutionary for the gaming industry. While he is excited to see how fans react to Half-Life Alyx, he's actually more excited to reach the next level of technology and see what can be done. Going forward, VR is going to be a completely different level with brain AI interface. Newell believes that reading your brain's motor and visual cortexes will be realistically possible. Something on the tier of Nerve Gear from Sword Art Online may actually be possible.
Hold on. Let's get VR down first, guys. We don't even have like VR all the way down yet.
Well, apparently this is like a real thing that's happening, and VR is pretty much down. I mean, aside from like having your feet in the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't even walk in VR.
You can walk in VR.
No,
what are you talking about?
No. You cannot walk in VR. You can't just like. There's no way to just like be in one place and walk everywhere. Like
yes, there is.
What
are you talking about?
You have to use a controller.
You can physically walk your legs wherever you want in VR.
In a room space.
In a room space. Yeah.
I'm talking about.
They have treadmills and shit that you could buy, but
home.
This is what he's talking about. This is the solution to that. You know
going into our brains?
Going into your brain.
No, that is not the solution.
He says this is an extinction level event for every form of entertainment that's not thinking about this. If you're in the entertainment business and you're not thinking about this, you're going to be thinking about it a lot more in the future, he said.
But what's the future? Like
the future is now, apparently, according to him, because like he seems to like have seen some kind of like tech demo of this that like fucking like is close to working or something. You know what I mean? Like
if Gabe Newell somehow comes out with this technology.
Well, he's not the first person to talk about this. Elon Musk was talking about fucking like fibers to brain computer shit,
which he also said we would see in the next 6 months, and it's been a year since that. So like
like he probably said that because he saw some kind of like functioning technology. Like I'm thinking that there's something that we don't know about that's like a functional piece of hardware that like communicates with people's brains. You know what I mean? Like
Elon Musk was the one working on that. It wasn't just something he saw. He said that he was working on it.
Well, sure, he's probably working on it because he realizes that there's other people working on it. I think that's what Gabe Newell's saying is like if you're not thinking about it, like you're going to get left in the dust because it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, I mean that's fine. I get that. I just don't see it happening. Not anytime soon. You know, like we're literally just now getting into VR. Like literally the past like 3 or 4 years.
This is a whole different thing. I mean, we're basically projecting like dreams into your brain at this point. You know what I mean? Like that's a different like thing altogether.
I know, but listen to what you're saying. We're projecting dreams into people's consciousness. Like it just doesn't make sense to me.
I just think that's like saying, you know, we shouldn't focus on VR because we never really got 3D movies down. You know, it's like a different medium, even though it's a similar concept.
I feel like 3D movies are more like it's so like 3D movies in the way of like holograms and stuff. That would be intense. But I'm talking about like with VR, like wouldn't the progression be to just make VR less and less of a like something that's stuck to your head, but slowly becomes like smaller and smaller, just like phones, and then eventually it's using your brain waves. Like, I just don't see that jump happening.
I mean, why not? Like, if you could just jump straight to it, though, like if that technology just suddenly became available and like it just made normal VR obsolete, or maybe you just prefer to not have some kind of signal blasted into your brain and you just want traditional VR. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's the case.
VR is definitely going to keep advancing as a medium, but I think they're going to work on something. This is going to be an entirely, in the same interview he compares it to like explaining the internet to somebody who's never seen the internet. Like, he's like, it's just impossible to describe it unless you
and I believe Gabe Newell, this guy created Half-Life. He created Valve, so it's like, all right, cool. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, I just feel like the implications there are a lot more like, whoa, than like people are thinking about. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, which was a really tiny part of that whole interview. I watched the interview, and he only talks about that for like 2 seconds.
True, but I definitely think it's one of the more interesting things he says. Yeah,
for sure. Stephen T. Wright at GameSpot says, as fans eagerly await the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake on April 10th, Square Enix has unveiled an interview with the developers of the game that clarifies some details, including more on the size of the game. Co-director Naoki Hamaguchi said that the upcoming remake has been, quote, designed as if it were a standalone game and comparable in size to other mainline Final Fantasy games, end quote. Since the remake only covers Midgar, which is the first 5 to 8 hours of the original Final Fantasy VII, this represents a significant expansion of content. According to producer Yoshinori Kitase, much of these new sections come as part of an attempt to expand Midgar beyond its original scope. Since the original game had to imply the connective tissue of the different neighborhoods of the city due to technological limitations, the team endeavored to fill all the gaps to make it a more continuous experience. The interview also confirms the existence of in-game content and covers the controversial exclusion of the wolf-like beast Red 13 as a playable character. Though he will be playable in a guest capacity, he will not have full character progression. However, he may be more fully realized in future entries. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. So they're saying this game is going to be around like at least 60 hours.
Well, I'm thinking more like between 30 and 50 if they're saying it's going to be the same length as a normal, like
a mainline. Because I think I spent around at least 50 hours in Final Fantasy 9, if I remember right.
I know that 15 clocks in usually about 50 hours, and then like 13 is like 25 hours or something like that,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a big variable there, but I definitely think we're going to expect at least 30 hours of gameplay, at least, you know what I mean?
I'm going to look how long to beat Final Fantasy 15. Let's see what the average...
15 I think is like 50 hours probably. And that's probably what they're comparing it to, since it's the most recent Final Fantasy entry.
That would make sense. Yeah. Okay, so how long to beat? So the main story is only 28 hours, but if you do the main plus extras, then it comes out to 53 and a half hours.
28.
And,
and I'm thinking they're talking just main story, probably. They're probably hyping it up, you know what I mean?
So maybe it is only around 30 hours.
30 hours. I still think that would be a pretty decent game, I'm not mad at that.
No.
I'd play that shit for 30 hours, you know what I mean? But, I don't know. I feel like... that could mean a lot of things.
Yeah, see, the main story for Final Fantasy IX is 40 hours without doing any of the extra stuff. So, like, the older ones were definitely longer. So I wish they were more, like, or if they would mention, like, this is going to be, like, in terms with, like, the old ones.
Yeah, it's like, which one are we talking about?
Yeah,
here,
because that's such a huge variance. Like, the main story for the old one is 40 fucking hours, and the newest one is only 28 hours to beat it, so it's like, that's a huge difference there.
Yeah, totally.
You can't just say it's like the other mainline button.
It's like, which one?
Yeah. Anyways, what you got?
Okay. Excuse me. Let's see. Activision is rolling out a slew of new Call of Duty content this week. Modern Warfare will receive a new map and operator who come alongside 2 legendary blueprints, while Call of Duty Warzone is getting a handful of new weapons. 4 new guns are coming to the standalone Battle Royale game starting to March 24th, so that's already happening. The 725 MK2 carbine, 50 caliber GS and the EBR-14. The guns will appear in common and uncommon rarities, and each have their own distinct strengths. Also, Call of Duty Mobile is getting 2 new modes, Rapid Fire and Sticks and Stones. So
may break my bones. No, but that's all good. They got lots of stuff always coming out. So
yeah.
Stephen Petit at GameSpot says, BioWare is collaborating with Dark Horse Books to release a book commemorating the iconic studio's first 25 years. Though the book will likely discuss the studio's popular hits like Mass Effect, Dragon Age, and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the most intriguing aspect is the promise that the book will detail secret, canceled projects. BioWare's Stories and Secrets from 25 Years of Game Development releases October 13th and is available to pre-order now at Amazon for $40. The 200-page hardcover puts you in the room during key moments in BioWare's history, with never-before-seen art and photos anchored by candid stories from developers past and present. It sure sounds like this book will be a must-read for dedicated BioWare fans. The biggest canceled BioWare project we know about is Shadow Realms, a fantasy RPG with asymmetric 4v1 multiplayer. BioWare showed the game often multiple times before canceling it in 2015, but the word secret implies that the book will touch on games that no one outside of BioWare knew were in development. Which they'll probably show Jade Empire 2 in there because...
I might have to get that.
Yeah, you can find a lot of stuff about Jade Empire 2 on the internet because I was doing like canceled games or whatever, or still working on that. One of the canceled games that I was looking at was Jade Empire 2. It's called something else though. It's like Red Gun or something like that. I don't remember now. But
Chapter 12, Anthem. I hurt myself today.
Is this a quote from Johnny Cash? Anyways, yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. I have like the Zelda book and the Mario book.
I'd love to check that out. I bet
grab
that's
that.
interesting for sure.
Oh, so what you got?
Okay. So 343 have announced they're working from home because of COVID, and that Halo might get pushed back. Maybe.
Damn, they said that?
Well, I don't know if they said that, but the article was implying that.
It might. I heard that.
They haven't like directly said anything like that, but you know, it might happen.
Yeah,
you know?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I think a lot of stuff. I'm like, this is going to be crazy to say, but I honestly think the consoles might get pushed back.
Bro, that would be crazy right there.
Dude, the Olympics just got postponed till next year. Like, what makes you think that the video game consoles that are manufactured in China won't get pushed back? You know,
I don't know. China's actually starting to get a little better over there.
A little bit. They're still good, like domestically, but they haven't opened up interstates or anything like that.
Probably
so,
a good call.
Yeah, and like at that point, you know, who knows
Shut
how
it down
that's
for
gonna.
a little longer, you know.
About a couple years. No,
but
I'm just
also, Rockstar Games and Bungie are working from home. So, you know, we got these game developers. They're still working hard. They're just working from home. So, you know, give them respect. Respect for that.
Yeah.
Respect.
Hold on. Respect. I want to see. I didn't know. I wasn't sure if this actually happened. Or not. Give me a second. I just want to make sure this is
you want me to read another one real quick? Just for fun?
No. Here we go. I think I found it. I don't know if this is recent. It says The Last of Us 2 has PS4 owners counting down the days to its May 29th release date, and one look at the latest trailer will show you why. The game is a direct sequel to 2013, blah, 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 blah. So Naughty Dog is suspiciously good at keeping story secrets hidden until the game... I'm just making sure. Okay. The Last of Us 2 will now be released on PS4 on May 29th.
Right. I think we knew that.
Did we know this?
I don't know. I think we might have talked about that last week. I'm not sure.
Okay. Basically, I just want to make sure, because this came out a week ago, and I didn't know if we talked about it last week, but I think it got delayed again.
Dang.
Yeah, so, and it probably will get delayed again, you know.
Big oof.
Anyway, so Eddie McCooch at GameSpot. If you've logged into the Dreamverse in the PS4 game Dreams, you've undoubtedly come across levels that are made with characters and IP owned by various game companies beyond Sony. One popular gaming franchise that is getting a lot of attention inside Dreams is Mario. And Nintendo is reportedly not very thrilled with its franchise being used in this manner.
Of course.
Creator Piece of Craft wrote on Twitter via Go Nintendo that Sony Interactive Entertainment Europe recently contacted them with a message from Nintendo stating its objection to the use of Mario in Dreams. Piece of Craft's creation has been removed from Dreams on the basis that it, quote, contains copyrighted material, end quote. Plenty of other Mario levels inside Dreams remain online and available. However, including Super Mario Infinity, Mario is just one of many copyrighted franchises that exist in Dreams right now. These kinds of takedown notices are likely to continue as companies take notice and take action.
Damn.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers need to chill and leave Dreams alone.
Yeah. Like
let dreams be dreams.
Don't let your dreams be dreams. the famous words of Shia LaBeouf.
So, I mean, like, isn't there some kind of, like, artistic, law that protects these people from, like...
You would think so, because it would just be parody, but...
Yeah, because you're not profiting off of it, you're just having a little fun.
They're not, but Dreams is.
I mean, I guess if you're buying it specifically to play that one dream, you know what I mean? But, like...
No, but you're paying for a game that has copywritten, like, material in it, so, like...
Yeah.
Whether you play that or not, they're still making money off of your character's likeness. You know what I'm saying? Because it's there. And Nintendo's very business savvy. They're not going to let their character get fucking, get put in a game where it could possibly throw up a fucking Hell Hitler,
Yeah.
Did you not see the one with like Peter Griffin walking around throwing up like the Hell Hitler? Like,
yeah.
That's
God, I gotta get Dreams, man. That sounds like a fun ass game.
He's like, nee. Like
I know that there was one game that like they said is still up in that article you're reading. They said it's still up, but it's called Super Mario Infinite or something.
Infinity.
Yeah, and it's like apparently it's like a whole Mario game that somebody made, and it's pretty tight.
Yeah, dude, it's pretty legit. Like Dreams goes hard, dude.
Dude, I know that's tight. I want it. Want it?
No, what you got?
Okay. Doom Eternal is off to a hell of a good start. It seems the game's PC edition, and this is just a PC edition, recorded almost 105,000 concurrent players on Steam recently after release. That's a massive number, and to put that into further context, it's much higher than the reported all-time high concurrent player number for its predecessor, 2016's Doom. Let's see. Benji Sales on Twitter crunched some numbers and reports that 105 concurrent players on Steam is far and away the biggest release for Bethesda in recent years. It surpasses peak concurrent players on Steam for Doom 2016, which had 31,000 as its top. Dishonored 2, which had 22,000 as its top. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, which had 16,000 at its top. And Evil Within 2, which had 9,800 at its top. According to Benji's sales numbers. So that's pretty damn good. I mean, you put all those together and it's still not as much as fucking how good Doom's going right now. So,
well, I think the Doom name has a lot of like history behind it, and it's like, and also Doom 2016 was just so good that people were expecting this to be like even better. You know what I'm saying?
But even so, I mean, like, dang, that's pretty crazy,
And coronavirus.
Yeah, I was going to say, coronavirus has a huge impact on it, and probably also the other, options. Like, if you're a PC gamer specifically, you're probably going to have to go with Doom because you don't have access to Animal Crossing, you know what I mean? And if you don't have a VR headset, you're not going to play Alex, you know what I mean? So Doom is like your option at that point, you know what I mean?
For sure. Though I do want to play Doom as well.
Oh man, it looks so good. I want to play it bad.
It looks so beautiful. Joe Screbbles at IGN says, weeks after its initial announcement for PC, Hideo Kojima has confirmed that Death Stranding's photo mode will come to the PS4 version of the game. It's not an unexpected announcement, but every post Kojima has made about the mode has been met with fans asking for a PS4 version, so it should set some minds at ease. Kojima says the mode should be a part of the game, part of the next patch to the PS4 game, and he is, quote, trying trying to make it happen at the end of this month's update, end quote. Should it meet that target, it will arrive far earlier than the PC version, which is scheduled for release on June 2nd. That PC version will also include Half-Life themed content, which is unlikely to make the jump to the PS4. Early looks at the photo mode show that it'll work similarly to comparable modes in other PS4 games such as God of War. However, Kojima has intimated that it may contain a sidekick photo mode that could work similarly to how he previously hid staff images as ghosts in Metal Gear Solid games.
Man, I really hope that the the Half-Life crossover is like an implication that they're going to do some kind of VR mode like they did with Hellblade. Like, I think that would be a really cool way to play that game.
That would be tight, but it's not going to happen.
Hey, you never know, man. You know.
I think it was just for the photo mode, just to get people hyped for that.
Yeah, but hey, you never know, man.
You're like, quit fucking shitting on my dreams.
Let
bro.
my dreams be dreams, bro. Quit Nintendoing my dreams over here, dude.
Don't let your dreams be dreams, bro. Just do it. Anyways.
Okay, all right. So I've got some stuff coming to Game Pass this week, and some stuff leaving Game Pass.
That's good.
So what's coming to Game Pass for Xbox One? We have Ace Combat 7: Skies Unknown. It's out now.
Yeah,
you can
that's
play
out.
it. We've got Kona out now. You can play it. The Surge 2.
That's out now.
It's out now. You can play it. Bleeding Edge. I think that's out now. It's March 24th. Yeah, so that's out now. And then the best of them all, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is coming March 26th. So.
That's all I'm waiting for.
Uh-huh. So Game Pass for PC, you're going to get Astrologicaster. It's coming soon.
Oh, sweet.
You're also going to get Bleeding Edge coming soon. I think it's coming a little later than console. We got Power Rangers for the Battle for the Grid coming there too.
I don't know if I'm excited about this this Bleeding Edge game, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've seen good things about it, but
I just don't care.
Yeah, it's just not my kind of thing. I think if you're into that style of game, then it's probably going to be pretty good. But
yeah.
And also the Surge 2 is coming to Game Pass for PC. Leaving Xbox One Game Pass soon. We have a lot more significant shit than is coming. Borderlands: The Handsome Collection is leaving soon. City Skylines is leaving soon. The Golf Club 2 is leaving soon. Lego Worlds is leaving soon. Operencia: The Stolen Sun is leaving, and Vampire is leaving. And on PC side of things, we have Battle Chef Brigade leaving, City Skylines leaving, Kingsway leaving, Operencia: The Stolen Sun leaving, Orwell: Keeping an Eye on You, and Vampire are all leaving.
Yeah, that Surge game is a Soulsborne type game.
Right, yeah. I've heard mixed reviews about it.
Yeah, it's more focused on taking out like individual limbs and stuff. Like, I don't know how to explain it.
That sounds kind of tight.
Yeah.
I might have to try it. I don't know. I never gave the first one a chance, I got it for free 1 month on PlayStation.
Me too.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was free on Xbox.
Yeah, it might have been Xbox.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of good reviews though, like on the Microsoft Store. The only thing bad about it is that I saw there's like a glitch in some people's game that like will fuck up your entire game save.
That's why I didn't play that Thief game all the way through. You remember Thief back in the day? I got that with my console like at launch, and I got to like the third level, and at the very end of the level my game crashed, and it like made me start over the whole game.
I'd be like, fuck this game.
That's what I did. I was like, I went and sold it. I was like, nope. I was like, not playing
again.
this.
Go ahead and finish up the news. I'm out of news.
Okay. All right. So the Olympics are canceled. We mentioned that. Bandai Namco has unveiled.
Well, not canceled. Postponed.
But I mean, yeah.
Till 2021.
Yeah. So that's weird. So after that, are they going to like go back on the normal schedule for the Olympics? Like, are they going to start doing it every 4 years from that point, or like is it going to throw off the whole like 4-year groove of the? Are we going to do like the summer or the winter Olympics like the very next year? Like, it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird because like my brother, his best friend like is dating an athlete who's going to the Olympics this year. So like,
are they stoked they get to train more?
I don't think so. I think they're more upset about it.
Yeah, like, they're probably bummed, dude. They probably spent their whole life working up to that moment. Like,
and she just went to like the Olympic trials or whatever and like got it. But apparently,
and she's probably in like the perfect prime condition.
Yes.
Like one more year is probably gonna put her like at that age where it's like, fuck,
one extra pizza too much. No, like,
they might have to do the trials over again.
No, they won't. That was the one thing that they told them, is that anybody who made it through the trials will get to be there next year for the thing. So
good.
Yeah,
because that'd be fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, just kidding. We got to do this over again.
Yeah, that would suck.
Okay. Bandai Namco has unveiled that the first piece of DLC for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, A New Power Awakens Part 1, will continue Goku's story with the events depicted in Dragon Ball Super. The DLC is included in the Ultimate Edition, but can be purchased separately. The DLC will involve Goku preparing to face off against Beerus, the god of destruction, who serves as the first antagonist of the most recent Dragon Ball series.
Cool.
So that's pretty cool if you're a fan of, like, modern Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball Z.
Okay. NVIDIA is continuing to tweak and improve its proprietary software tools for its graphics cards. And with today's update, it introduces a new version of the most widely applicable one. DLSS, or Deep Learning Super Sampling, is going 2.0, with Control and MechWarrior Mercenaries the first to support it.
Cool.
DLSS is a method of rendering a game lower than its target resolution, and then using a combination of deep learning models and powerful tensor cores on NVIDIA's RTX line to process them and reconstruct a single game frame as it's rendered, filling in the missing details and producing a cleaner image with a massive performance boost. So basically, this is just a way that NVIDIA figured out how to make your games look even a little better than they usually do, but and also run way faster. Yeah. So I'm thinking this kind of technology is definitely something we can see, or we can expect to see applied into, like, consoles. Yeah. Especially since it's just like something they figured out on the fly and like patched it into existing GPUs. Like, I think that it's something that they could probably still implement in the modern consoles without having to change any of the hardware. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. No, that's cool.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Let's see. Animal Crossing New Horizons has tracked the best ever launch numbers in physical sales for a Switch game in the UK. The initial sales for Nintendo's latest big game are the system's best ever, unless you count Pokemon Sword and Shield as a single game and combine their sales. GamesIndustry.biz is reporting that the launch sales number for the latest Animal Crossing in UK are higher than the launch sales of every previous Animal Crossing game, including spin-offs like Happy Time Designer combined. Although exact numbers are not given for individual games, New Horizons led a week in which 475,000 physical games were sold, and this is just in the UK, mind you.
Yeah.
It's worth noting that these figures did not include digital sales at all, which likely drive New Horizons sales much higher. This is even more significant when you factor in the current COVID-19 pandemic. Considering the importance of self-isolation, one would expect a higher number of download sales than physical. It's also possible that people would usually hold back on purchasing straight away, hurried out to get it at launch, knowing that shops would shut.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing New Horizons outsold Doom Eternal in its first week, so it seems like people are prioritizing Island Getaway over conquering hell in these hard times.
I think it's just more of a easy access game. Like, people who don't normally play games would probably more than likely jump into Animal Crossing than they would into fucking Doom Eternal.
True, maybe easy access in terms of, like, playability, but, like, in terms of, like, accessibility, Doom is way easier access because you got Xbox, PlayStation, and PC on Doom, and Switch to come soon. But
true,
but
I'm
only
talking
have
about
Switch
like,
on Animal Crossing. You know what I mean?
But that's what I mean by it's going to be your more like mainstream what's the term for it? Not mainstream. I'm thinking of people who don't play games typically. They're more cell phone gamers. Casual gamer.
Yeah.
Not to insult anybody, because I love Animal Crossing. This, it's just that you're more casual gamers more than likely have a Switch, that they bought for whatever and just haven't touched it until COVID-19, and they were like, oh, I need Animal Crossing,
Still, that's impressive to me that like Doom's combined sales of physical copies of Xbox and PlayStation can't match the one system for Animal Crossing.
That's
you know
Nintendo,
what I mean?
Nintendo, boy.
Hey,
that's Nintendo.
Hey,
holding it down.
Indeed. Okay, let's see what else we got. Guys, I'm not going to read this whole article, but there's lots of free games out there right now. So if you have like a computer, make sure you check the Epic Game Store and GOG, and if you have an Xbox, make sure you get your free games. Just make sure you got your free shit to play while this whole thing is going down, because there's lots of fun you can be having without spending a single dime.
Correct.
Let's see. We talked about Dreams. Oh, this one's weird. Mortal Kombat, also known as Mortal Kombat 9, is no longer available for purchase digitally on Steam. As VG247 has reported, the game's Steam page states that the Complete Edition, the only edition available for sale digitally, was removed from sale at the request of the publisher. While it's not entirely clear why this has happened, VG247 speculates that its removal may have something to do with the rights to Freddy Krueger, who appears as a fighter in the Complete Edition. As reported by Bloody Disgusting, the rights to the character reverted back to Wes Craven's estate in 2019, and thus his appearance in the game might have needed to be renegotiated. So, that's all speculation, but it seems like the most likely reason why they would have pulled the game.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Netflix is doing a $100 million fund to donate to people in the movie industry who are affected by COVID-19.
Yes, all those rich actors need help.
No, it's more for like the makeup people and stuff.
Okay, that's fine. I was about to say, I don't think they need help.
It's like
poor Brad Pitt. What's he doing?
Let's see what we got here. Okay. This one's kind of weird. As the situation... Okay, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm sorry. Basically, in Europe, they're like Netflix is like cutting down the HD quality on their streaming service so they can like have faster... broadband speeds over there or something like that.
Yeah, they're doing that with Sony too. It's not just with Netflix and stuff like that. And every government is asking people right now to limit their what games they're playing, and if they're watching Netflix, to put it in standard rather than HD and all this stuff, because the bandwidth obviously is taking a huge fucking hit by everybody being home right now.
Well, I know that they're the internet in those other countries isn't quite as good as we have it here, I feel like.
Opposite. No. Europe is way faster than us.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I thought for some reason they were worse.
We're one of the, we're so far behind, whenever it comes to internet speeds and stuff like that in America. I didn't realize this till
really?
I ended up looking it up. Yeah.
It can get better. No, I'm just kidding.
What do you think 5G is, dude? No, I'm just kidding. Whenever we get, we don't even, not every place has fiber optics right now, we're still running on old shit for the most part, so anyways.
Interesting. GDC has announced that it's going to do its stuff in the summer now. So
I don't think that's going to happen either. I feel like we're going to be on this lockdown for another at least 2 months,
It's very possible. But for now, they're planning to do it from August 4th to 6th. So we'll see if anything changes between then and now. But, as of now, we have kind of a new date for GDC. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, okay. This one's kind of interesting. As the a lot of coronavirus stuff, but that's just the world we're in right now.
Yep.
As the coronavirus pandemic continues to spread, one risk to emergency service providers is a shortage of supplies like face masks that keep them safe as they treat patients. The gaming hardware and accessory manufacturer Razer is planning to step in and do its part by shifting some of its production capacity and make and donate up to 1 million surgical masks. In a thread on Twitter, CEO Min Lang Tan said that the designers and engineers at the company have been working long hours to convert their production lines to make surgical masks. It's starting with Singapore, where Razer is headquartered, and the regional offices will be reaching out to the government and health authorities to plan how it will prioritize the distribution of the mask. So I don't care what you say. That you can't put a bad spin on that one.
There's not a bad spin. Our government just signed an order that they're basically funding all these companies to do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Elon Musk.
This is in Singapore, though. This isn't even.
Yeah, well, I'm sure their government's doing it too.
Oh, for sure.
Elon Musk right now is making a bunch of ventilators. He
really
basically
That's such an Elon Musk thing to do.
Well, it's all these big companies. The government is funding these big corporations to build their factories to create other things. Like alcohol companies right now are making hand sanitizer.
Oh, cool.
Like all the liquor companies and stuff. Like they're just turning everything that they have into Germex creators, basically.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's
Very
really
interesting.
cool. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I'm forgetting words today, guys.
Me too. I'm drawing a blank over here.
Yeah, I'm forgetting every word.
I'm just having a hard time reading. I'm just looking at it. It's jumbling up in my brain.
It's the home quarantine.
That's
stuff.
exactly what it is.
I haven't talked in days.
Let's see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's. I think that's all I got.
All right. Well, that's it for the video game news this week, guys. Now we're going to jump into this week's releases, where I'm going to let you know what brand new games are coming out in the next 7 days, starting with Duck Souls, coming to Xbox One on March 25th and Switch on March 27th.
Is this a Souls game with ducks? Please tell me it is.
It's only $1.99, so it can't be that good. Duck Souls is a fast-paced action platformer about a little duck with an incredible skill to dash and a mission: find all the eggs to save his species. Set in a cute and deadly fantasy world where many traps will rip your wings off your body while you struggle to grasp the frail, fragile egg. Run, jump, and dash through a colorful and treacherous environment to save everyone and become a hero if you can. So it sounds kind of Dark Soulsy, but I don't know.
I want to look this up, dude.
Iron Danger is coming to PC on March 25th. Couldn't find a price. Enter into a fantasy world of swords, sorcery, and steam-belching cyborgs. Iron Danger is trailblazing tactical action adventure RPG with story-driven game progression and turn-based tactical battle systems that combine simultaneous turns and time manipulation mechanics. In an age before the hatching of the universe, an age that lives only in myth, a primal power arises to forge the future of mankind, sought by demigods and sorcerers, the mightiest champions and destroyers. This power and the duty it entails fall upon the frail shoulders of a Kipuna, a simple village girl who becomes imbued with a cosmic power that grants dominion over time and death. Okay, and then we got Biped coming to PC on March 26th. Couldn't find a price. Two little bipedal robots, Aku and Sela, will walk side by side and embark on a fun and bounding journey. You control the robot's two legs using two sticks or left and right mouse buttons. This allows you to perform various moves, from simple walking and sliding to more advanced actions like operating machinery or cutting wood. Explore forests, valleys, waterfalls, and icy mountains. Dress your robots in different disguises and collect treasures to discover the vast universe of Biped.
I love cutting wood.
Oh, me too. And then we got Control, the Foundation, coming to PS4 and PC on March 26th. Couldn't find a price, but Control, the Foundation is the first DLC expansion for the mind-bending third-person action adventure game Control. The astral plane is colliding with our reality. Jesse Faden, as the director of the Federal Bureau of Control, must travel through the caverns of the Foundation to prevent the astral plane from consuming the oldest house. The missing head of operations, Helen Marshall, may hold some answers to the mystery surrounding this threat. As she travels deeper, Jesse will learn more about Marshall's disappearance and the enigmatic board. And then we got Mekorama coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, Vita, PC, March 26th for $4.99. Guide the adorable robot bee, because he looks like a bee, to safety after he crash lands on a strange cubic planet in the puzzle game Mekorama. Explore each level, rotating it in 3D to see all sides, looking for a way through to the goal. Basically, it's like that Toad Treasure Tracker game, but it's $4. And then we got Arafel coming to Xbox One, Switch, PS4, and PC on March 26th for $14.99. Long, long ago, the 11 sorcerers cast a spell to save the floating world of Arafel from destruction. Instead, they doomed it to fall from the sky. By chance, the fate of the world has been placed in the hands of a young woman. Join her as she and her friends endeavor against all odds to save their homeland, all while the clock ticks ever nearer the final hour. Take in the beauty of a magical world floating above the clouds, then take on a menacing race of vampires hidden in the dark. Arafel combines the best parts of 16-bit Japanese-style role-playing games with the best parts of Western RPGs, as well as elements of visual novels and adventure games to create a truly unique experience. Then we got Last Oasis coming to PC on March 26th. Couldn't find a price for this game, but Last Oasis is a nomadic survival MMO. Earth has stopped rotating, and the last human survivors need to outrun the scorching sun in a massive open world. Find ways to survive, gather resources, craft equipment, build your walker, improve your skills, learn to exploit what remains of the world. Keep your nomad alive for as long as you can. As you become stronger, the longer you escape death. And then we got One Step from Eden coming to Switch. PC, March 26. Couldn't find a price. Eden is the last shining beacon of hope in a bleak post-war world. One Step from Eden combines strategic deck building and real-time action with roguelike elements, allowing your character to the chance to carve a path of mercy or destruction. Fight alone or with a friend in co-op as you cast powerful spells on the fly, battle evolving enemies, and collect game-changing artifacts. Can you make it to Eden, or will your destruction be imminent? Then we got Borderlands 3, Guns, Love, and Tentacles, The Marriage of Wainwright and Hammerlock. Coming to PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, and PC on March 26th. I don't know the price for this, but basically it's DLC for Borderlands 3. I'm not going to read all that. Bears Can't Drift is coming to Xbox One on March 26th for $11.99. Put your paw to the floor and power slide between the pines as you face off against up to 3 friends in multiplayer split screen in Bears Can't Drift. What? That sounds amazing. No, then we got Bite the Bullet coming to Xbox One on March 27th. Couldn't find a price. Satisfy your appetite for destruction in this roguelite RPG shooter where you must eat to power up your characters, weapons, and abilities. Consume strange species to add new entries to Darwin Corp's mysterious compendium. Explore 3 branching skill trees based on your diet. Remember, you are what you eat. And then we got Children of Zodiacs coming to Xbox One March 27th for $17.99. Children of Zodiacs is a story-driven single-player tactical RPG that combines traditional strategic gameplay with the thrill of collectible cards and craftable dice. The game's dynamic system draws tension and anticipation from cards and dice. Your ability to adapt to the unexpected will be tested at every turn. And then we got Gigantosaurus, the game, coming to PS4, Switch, Xbox One, and PC on March 27th for $39.99. In Gigantosaurus, the game, players can explore and race across the vast prehistoric world of Gigantosaurus in a one-of-a-kind dinosaur adventure. Part saving the world, part rally racing, and all gigantic fun. Okay. And we got One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 coming to Switch, Xbox One, PS4, PC, March 27th for $59.99. Experience awesome One Piece action lifted straight from the anime. One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 injects fresh elements of Pirate Warriors action that couldn't be achieved in previous entries of the series. Buildings will come crashing down during the action, and attacks will throw up smoke and dust, placing you in the thick of the One Piece world. And then we got Enops coming to Xbox One March 27th for $11.99. Dive into the wondrous world of Enops, a 2D puzzle-based side-scrolling adventure of dark and light. Battle fire-breathing demons. Explore the shadowy mine, the twisted jungle, and extraterrestrial Alex City to rescue the scattered Enops. Use the environment to your advantage by using unique, intractable components whilst guiding the Enops to safety. Then we got Lost Words, Beyond the Page, coming to Stadia, March 27th. Couldn't find a price, but Lost Words is a platformer game set in the pages of a diary. Run on words and move them to solve puzzles in order to unlock the fantasy world of Estoria, where words are even more powerful. The game features a story written by Rihanna Pratchett and ties the narrative into the gameplay in an unusual way, with the words the character experiences having both emotional impact as a story being told as well as benefit to the player as they interact with words to solve puzzles. Yeah, sounds interesting. And then finally, we have Gordian Quest, coming to PC on March 27th. Couldn't find a price. A sinister curse corrupts the land. Darkness reigns. Monsters roam. Scoundrels loot. Cowards flee. Heroes emerge. Dancers dance. No, I'm just kidding. Lead heroes on an adventure to save what's left of this fallen world and destroy the root of evil abound. Will you fall at the claws of your enemies or the consequences of your poor decisions? Your Gordian Quest is about to begin. Gordian Quest is an epic roguelike light adventure that combines the best elements of deck building, tactical combat, and strategic decision-making. You will form parties of heroes whom you will have to lead and manage on grueling missions. Help them forge bonds and discover new skills among them. Be fearless and unwavering as you work to unravel the curses laid upon the lands and defeat the ultimate evil at the heart of it all.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. That's all this week's releases.
So basically DLC for Control and Borderlands.
And Borderlands 3.
I didn't want to cut off your flow earlier, but the Control DLC, if you're playing on PC, that should be one of the first games to take advantage of the DLSS that we were talking about, the Deep Learning Super Sampling 2.0. So
nice.
You want to, if you got an RTX card, it might be worth
checking
it out. Yeah.
So let's jump on over to Currently Playing, where we're going to let you know what games we've been playing in the past week. What you want to go? You want me to go? How do you want to do this?
How about you kick it off? Because I got a lot to talk about here.
Okay, so first off, I've been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Oh, what do you think? Give me the skinny. Is it everything you hoped it would be?
It is. It's good. It's got some weird mechanics that it obviously took from Breath of the Wild, where like your equipment breaks, and so you have to like craft shit. Which is fine. It's fine. It gives it a whole new thing, and like you can get like better equipment and stuff like that. Which in the last one you just have like your one set of equipment, So it's interesting. The whole crafting added to it is pretty cool. There's new items that like help you get to new places. You can go to different people's islands. You can go to these like random islands to find like stuff to get, but you have to like build up what are called Nook miles, which you get by like completing like little goals that you have in your cell phone. It'll be like or your basically your iPhone in the game, and it'll be like, sell 5 pieces of fruit, and you do that, and it gives you like 300 miles, and you got to build up these miles, and then you can use them on a ticket to go to like a different island and find scavenge for new stuff, find new fruit, new fish, whatever. But it's fun, and I went in knowing what I was getting myself into. That's one thing I wanted to mention earlier, is that like I feel sorry for all the people who've never played an Animal Crossing before and bought this thinking that they were going to be able to like spend their whole quarantine time like playing it, because the first like 3 days that you're playing, you really run out of stuff to do pretty quickly, because the game runs on a real life clock. So when it's whatever the time is on your Switch is the time in game, so like, so like whenever you go, like the first day you show up and you're like, I want to build my house here, so they're like, okay, we'll start building your house. It won't be built till the next day, like literally the next day, not video game day.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so you have to wait, and then
oh no!
Yeah, there's stuff you can do while you wait. Like you can go find fruit or like pull weeds and do random shit like that. But eventually, it gets kind of like you're just basically saving up miles and saving up money to pay off your debts and whatnot. And then, like, when you start building the museum, it takes 2 full days before your museum is built, and you can start putting stuff in the museum and stuff like that. So, but I already knew that shit going in, but I feel like a lot of people probably jumped on that game and they're like, what the fuck? Like I can only play like an hour the first day.
I would be a little sad. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting. But I love the game. The game's beautiful. We've already got our museum up, and the museum's huge and amazing. And then we just got enough stuff to build our store. And like Brittany's been playing a lot. My girlfriend's been playing it a lot. She's been like a lot of her friends at work got it as well, so they've just been like going to each other's islands like while FaceTiming and just hanging out and stuff.
So that's fun.
Cool. Yeah, and it's cool to see like her enjoying it. And like there's this whole thing where like you can find images like online, like on your phone, and you can it like people
the QR code
the
thing?
QR code, and you
I've
can put them
that.
into your house and stuff like that.
I'm in a group where people have been doing like dumps of like QR codes where you can do different stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, it's really cool, and but outside of that, I got back into Cuphead and I beat it for the second time.
You playing on Xbox or
Xbox? Yeah, I just completed it today, like probably an hour before we started recording. 96%. So
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I got
a boss.
Yeah, I bought but I went and it was like you died 613 times while playing through the game. But
if you have the patience to 96% Cuphead, then you can definitely beat any Dark Souls game. Like
I don't think so.
Like easily, dude. Easily.
The
Cuphead is harder to me than fucking Sekiro ever was. Like,
but I'm really good at 2D platforming. That's the difference. So like I'm really good with hand-eye coordination and 2D platforming, and I feel like those 3D games are more focused on like remember to jump or remember to do this. Whenever Cuphead, there's like 4 things happening at once, and once you memorize like how those things work, and like you start to like, I feel like I'm playing Donkey Kong when I play Cuphead.
It seems like it would be a lot more difficult, but really, like, I promise you, like, I feel like Sekiro is an easier game. Like, I feel like
do you have it like a physical? Or is it digital?
I had it, but I sold it.
Oh, you sold it. Okay,
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I was probably I'll probably jump into that.
It's really worth getting though.
But I mean, if I'm gonna buy a game, I'll probably just jump into Doom. But but
I wish they'd put it on Game Pass or something. I know that probably will never happen.
No, it will eventually, I bet. But so with Cuphead though, this is the second time I beat it. The first time I beat it was on my old account, so like I didn't have it on this one, and I wanted to like make sure I had it as like beat, on my gamer score and stuff. And whenever I beat the game, I got 2 like rare achievements. Like still only 7% of people who have played this game have beat it. Like,
well, yeah, it's hard as fuck.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this is my second time beating it.
I'm saying, I think you underestimate your skills here.
I was like, fuck yeah, dude. No, like, once I saw it, because the first time I beat it was like the week it came out, so like, I was like, well, that makes sense. Not that many people have beaten it. But it's been out for years now, and it's still only 7% of Xbox players that have played the game have beat the whole game.
Yeah, I gave up on it, man. It was too hard for me. Like, I played like halfway through it, and I just stopped. Like,
bro, we need to go co-op on that shit. I'll get you through to the end. We need to go together.
Man, we need to. I'll hold you back from the end is what I'll do.
Because if you die, I get to keep going until the end of the level or whatever, until I die. So, like, we should just, like, try and start a co-op game from the beginning and see how far we can get. I mean, we have nothing to do.
I'm down. I have it on Switch, though. Was it cross-platform? Can we, like, do that?
Even if it's not, I'll grab it on Switch. I don't care.
It's worth getting.
It's like
Switch,
$20, and I think it's on sale for like $15 right now. So like, I wouldn't mind doing that. Just we could stream it, bro.
Totally. That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So what have you been playing?
Oh man, I've been playing so much stuff. I mean, literally, pretty much all I've been doing is just playing video games, which makes me a happy camper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I still have my subscription to the Viveport Infinity or whatever that, like Netflixy, or it's really more like Game Pass.
Yeah, your free trial with it?
Yeah, I got my free trial until the end of the month, so like until March 31st I have it, so I still have it for the next few days, so I plan to get as much out of it as I can, you know what I mean? Just because, like, why not?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure.
But that being said, I have a lot of fucking games I've been playing just because I've had, that trial. So I'll get all the games on the trial out of the way first, and then I'll talk about some other stuff. But I tried Abduction, which is that game that was made by the people who made Myst and Riven. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it actually plays a lot like Myst. It's like,
which is like a god game where like you play as a god.
No.
Wait.
You're thinking of Black and White.
I thought Myst was like that too.
No, Myst is like an adventure exploration game where you like do puzzles and like pull levers.
Like a point and click?
Kind of.
Oh, okay.
But like Myst was like one of the first like first person games like ever. Like it wasn't like, it was point and click in the respect that it wasn't like a free movement kind of thing. Like, but you were in like the perspective of the person, and like you could turn left and right, and then you click and you go to like a more
Hold up.
a different spot in the map. Like, you know what I mean?
I know what you're talking about, and it looks kind of like Elder Scrolls, like
yeah,
like I remember playing that at your grandma's house.
Yeah, my grandmother had it back in the day. Dude.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
So this is like that. It's like really beautiful, but like kind of basic. Like, and the story's interesting, but it's like really long in the tooth. Like, I don't know. There's just like you get bored fast with this game. You know what I mean?
I can imagine in 2020.
But it's beautiful. I mean, it's like one of the best looking VR games I've ever played. Like the way the like light comes through the camera and like reflects off the lenses and stuff. It's like gorgeous. Like, I mean, it's really, really pretty. It's just not enough fun to keep me playing.
Yeah.
Especially when I have like unlimited options with this service. You know what I mean? Then I played the Five Nights at Freddy's VR game.
How's that?
It's really scary, to be honest with you. I can't really play much of it because it's just too scary. Like, I just can't do it. Like, you know, I don't like...
Scarier than Resident Evil?
Not really. I mean, like, the thing about it is, it's like, I don't like jump scares very much.
Yeah.
And, you know, Five Nights at Freddy's is just like...
Pure jump
scares.
They get
right in your face, and they're like, Rah! You know what I mean? I just... I can't do that shit, dude. Like, I just can't. Like... It's scary as fuck, and I don't want to play it.
For sure.
Shooty Fruity. I played Shooty Fruity. You're like this Walmart clerk or something, and you're like scanning items and shooting fruit from like guns that come on a conveyor belt. And like the more items you scan, the better your guns get, and the more frequent your guns come.
I've seen this game before. I've seen a demo of it or something.
It's weird. It's kind of fun though. It's like just a basic wave shooter. It's really polished looking. All the fruit looks really good. All the guns look really good. But it's just like you're just shooting fruit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like if Carnival games came to VR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So I played that. It was fun, but again, not a lot of substance there. I played a game called Heart of the Emberstone Gallery. And this is one of the best looking VR games I've ever played. It's really, really pretty. And you have this like cool telepathy ability where you can like point at stuff with your hand and like levitate it around like you're using the Force, which feels really good in VR. And these puzzles that are really pretty and like fun in VR, like where you get this like your hand turns into this like glowing ball and you have to like get it through this like network of stuff without hitting any of the red stuff. It sounds stupid, but it's like really fun in VR. You know what I mean?
I played there's a game like an arcade game like that where like you just put your finger and you have to make it through the
yeah. It's kind of like that. Actually, it's a lot like that. But you're like getting all around it, trying to like get the right angle and stuff. It's a lot of fun, and like it's definitely up there with like the best looking VR games I've ever played. It's like really, really pretty. I played that. It was kind of basic but fun. It was short. And then let's see. That's pretty much what I played from the Viveport service. And then I played. Oculus sent me like $20 in store credit because I did some kind of promotion a little while back.
Yeah, you talked about that last week.
Yeah, they finally
sent it to you.
Yeah, they finally sent me the money.
Nice.
And so I was like, all right, well, I'll get something because like you know, I didn't know what to get. So I went on the store and I was looking at games that were like reviewed well. And there's this game called Trover Saves the Universe.
I think we talked about this.
I think we did
at one point. What isn't it made by the same people who made the job simulator?
They made Accounting.
Accounting, yeah.
But it's Justin Roiland, the Rick and Morty creator, basically made this game. Like, and he like voiced all the characters and stuff. It's so funny. It's like fucking hilarious. I've only played the base game, and there's free DLC that came with it that I haven't gotten around to yet. So I'm gonna go do that at some point. But the base game took me about 6 hours. It was really, really funny. And, like, the game looks pretty, and, like, the story is stupid. It's, like, you're basically, like, this Chairorpian, which is, like, a race of people that are, like, sit in chairs all the time. And they, like, float around in this, like, floating chair. And you've got two, like, dogs and, like, this big chicken monster with, like, empty eye holes, like comes to your house and like steals your dogs and stuffs them in his eye holes, and like he gains like unlimited godlike power from like stealing your dogs and putting them in his eye holes. So like the whole game is you trying to get your dogs back from this big weird chicken monster. Yeah. And, like, you've got this other little guy that you can control, Trover, and he's got, like, little babies in his eye holes, and, like, the babies give him more power, so, like, every time you upgrade, he, like, takes his baby out of his eye and, like, lets it eat another baby and, like, puts it back in his eye.
The fuck?
Really weird. But, like, the whole game is just, like, really weird nonsense that, like, is... I don't know, it's really funny. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. But it's like basically just an episode of Rick and Morty.
Sounds like it. Sounds like Rick and Morty for sure.
Let's see. And then I gave The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners another chance. And I was a little hard on it last time. It's actually a really good game. I've gotten into it a lot more, and like the gameplay is so much fun. Like the story's interesting. There's like lots of different missions. Like the combat is really fun. I don't know. It's just got a lot going for it. But I still need to give it a little more of a chance because I'm not that deep. I'm only like 4 hours into it.
Coolio.
Yeah, and then let's see.
Oh, okay.
Then that's all the VR stuff I've been playing. And then I played the Resident Evil 3 demo that came out this week.
Yeah, I forgot to do that.
It was pretty good, dude. It's short, but it makes me stoked about the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I played this weird point-and-click game called Silent Age. Have you ever played this?
No.
It's available on your phone. It's available on computers. It's pretty much anywhere you want to play it. But it's this, like, pretty... point-and-click game that's just like really basic art style, you know what I mean, with like vibrant colors. And it's a story about this janitor at this company, and like this guy makes a time machine, and like you're cleaning the lab, and he runs in and he's all shot, and he's like, he gives you a time machine, he's like, go find the younger me or whatever, and then you like break out of like police custody because they think you killed the guy, and like it's really interesting. It's just like this fun adventure where like the main mechanic of the game is like puzzling through the use of your little time machine. So like you're like the time machine's solar powered, so you're, like half the game's like you trying to find like sunny spots to like recharge your time machine, and then use the time machine to go back in time and get like something from the past that will help you in the future, and vice versa. I don't know, it's a fun little game. It's definitely one to just chill out and play, like if you don't want to think about something too hard, you know.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
It's really cool. The puzzles are all kind of easy, like maybe too easy almost, but it's still a lot of fun.
Sounds like Animal Crossing level of just chill.
Yeah, maybe not that chill, but still pretty chill.
I like it.
And there you go. That's what I got.
That's it. That's all the games. Okay, so that's what we've been currently playing. You can let us know what you've been playing in the comments on YouTube, or you can head on over to facebook.com/group/GameSpeak podcast, where all of our homies are chilling. All of us just like, you know, post memes and video game content and stuff. Be sure to join us over there, and you can drop what you've been playing. We'll talk with you about it. Anyways, we're going to jump on over to topic of the show. Today's topic of the show is going to be a double feature. So we got our top 5 zombie games and our top 5 zombie movies.
Hey.
Now, this is obviously relative to what timeline we're in real life, which is COVID-19, and very upsetting. So we're going to make fun out of it, you know, and we're going to play this game of picking our favorite zombie stuff.
You want to start with the movies or the games?
I feel like we should start with the movies, and then go into the games.
Work into the games, yeah. I'm with you on that.
So, what do you want? You want me to go first? You want to go first?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so number 10 for me, Dawn of the Dead. You gotta have Dawn of the Dead in your top 5, at least in my opinion. I feel like Dawn of the Dead is just classic, and I'm talking about the remake, or like the good, you know, the George A. Romero, they're in a mall version. Dawn of the Dead was just so good to me.
Yeah, you're talking about the 2004 Dawn of the Dead, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the best, honestly. Like as far as like serious zombie movies go.
It was the best quality for a zombie film. That
I feel like it inspired a lot of other zombie material too. Like I don't think Dead Rising would have been the same without Dawn of the Dead being set in like that shopping mall and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and plus Dawn of the Dead was made by the creator of zombies himself. You know, so like it wasn't just like somebody coming in and making a movie, you know, or a B-rated zombie movie. It was George A. Romero, you know.
It's also kind of interesting, though, because it's like you can tell he took influence from other zombie movies. So it's like he kind of built on his own lore, you know, after, I don't know. I love
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. It's a good movie. Number 5 for me has got to be 28 Weeks Later. I really love that movie. It's, as far as sequels go, it's probably one of the best sequels in my opinion. I don't know, especially for like horror movies. You know what I mean? Like they just don't make them like that.
And it really didn't have anything to do with the first character, right? First guy.
It's a whole new story. It's just the same like world, same timeline. You know what I mean?
Which is very, very interesting. Like to come out with a movie that like, because I know the first one did, really well. So like for them to take that risk of making a sequel that had no involvement with the first character or anything like that, or characters,
I really like how they did it too. Like, in the first movie, the situation kind of resolves itself. And then in the second movie, you see this like aftermath world where everybody's in like quarantines and like cordoned off and like the government's trying to take control of it all, I don't know. It's just it's really interesting. And then it all like goes crazy again. I don't know.
For sure. It gets more political. It talks about that. Number 9 for me is Zombieland. Zombieland is
maybe you should like say these like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, guys. No, okay. I'm sorry. I put them all in. I'm looking at I meant number 4.
Yeah.
So okay. So Dawn of the Dead was number 5 for me. Number 4 for me is Zombieland.
Ooh, Zombieland's a good one. You can't make a list like this without Zombieland.
Yeah, Zombieland came out of nowhere. I think a lot of people were sleeping on it whenever it was first getting like, having its trailer ran and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then like once it came out, it was like, damn, this is a classic,
dude,
bro.
A-list actors. It's got with Jesse Eisenberg, Emma Stone, fucking
Woody
Harrelson. So funny. It's like the perfect blend of like humor and horror because it doesn't lose like the action. You know what I mean? Like it's still a fun zombie movie. It's still a good zombie movie, but it's like fun at the same time.
Very fun, very funny. And it has like a lot of. It's so quotable. It's one of those movies that
very quotable, especially in its time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Which it came out around the time of like Superbad and shit like that, so it was like
I still haven't seen the sequel, but I've heard the sequel's pretty good.
It's not as good as the first one, but there's a lot of funny shit in it. Like it like I personally liked it a lot. But anyways, what's your number 4?
So my number 4 is Dawn of the Dead, 2004. Which
okay.
We just
We've already talked about it. Okay.
Gotta have that one,
You gotta have it. Yeah, you gotta have it.
Essential.
Number 3 for me is 28 Days Later.
That's a good one.
I like 28 Days Later specifically because it changed the game. It was like whenever it came out, it introduced this whole new like seriousness to zombies. Like I feel like most zombie movies at the time were like B-rated. They didn't really have like too much thought into what was going on in the world specifically, like or for the lore and stuff like that. And I felt like this one, it was just so cool to wake up with this guy who's like, he's like in a hospital bed. He wakes up from this coma or whatever, and everybody's gone.
It's like Jared Leto, dude. Did you read that article?
He's so fucking stupid. He's like, I was on a 12-day meditation in the fucking desert, and I came back and people were like, dude, COVID-19, and I was like, why though?
Why? No, but I agree with you. 28 Days Later, I feel like is the pinnacle of zombie movies. Like I fucking love that movie. I feel like it changed the game. It introduced like
fast
zombies, zombies that still kind of have their faculties, but also like I don't know, the music
everything.
And the world that they were in, and like everything about it was so well done. I like that it was set in London, so you have this like different like environment to your typical like zombie movie. You know what I mean? Like when the scene where he's walking past Big Ben and it's like just dead streets. It's like that's so iconic. Where he's like chugging that Pepsi that he finds.
Like I feel like this movie had such an impact on us. We made a parody of it when we were kids. Put it on YouTube.
We did.
28 seconds later, it's still up there somewhere.
It is. It's buried in the YouTube archives.
Yeah, be careful looking that up.
Oh God.
Anyways,
that's a good one.
What's your number 3?
So my number 3 is Planet Terror.
Ooh, I put Planet Terror on my honorable mention because I couldn't. like it was so good, but it wasn't like a full package to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I agree. No, I think it should be on a list.
I don't know. Something about Planet Terror just was so over the top and ridiculous. And like the plot didn't really make any fucking sense.
No.
But it's like, does it need to? You know?
It's Quentin Tarantino.
It's
Actually, it wasn't Quentin Tarantino, was it?
It was Robert Rodriguez. But it was in the same double feature with that, Quentin Tarantino
Death
movie.
Proof.
Yeah. But it was so good. It was like, I don't know, just everything about it was like over the top. You just like ridiculous. Like you can tell they spent way over their budget trying to make it look like low budget and like crazy. You know what I mean?
It's like they had to spend more money to make it look bad. Yeah, like, and then her just having a gun for a leg.
She had a gun for a leg. Bruce Willis's like dick melts off in the fucking movie. It's like the best.
Was that Bruce Willis? I think you're thinking of.
No, Bruce Willis is definitely in the movie.
No, but it wasn't his dick. It was Quentin Tarantino's dick.
Yeah, it was Quentin Tarantino's dick. Bruce Willis melts in some capacity during the movie.
Yeah.
But it's a fucking excellent movie.
Good
it's
movie.
Ridiculous. Yeah. It's super violent. Probably the most violent like zombie movie I can think of off the top of my head.
And made by the guy who made Spy Kids.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Actually, I think that was number 2, right? Oh, no.
That was number 3 for me.
Okay. Number 2 for me is Dance of the Dead. Now, a lot of people haven't seen this.
I haven't seen this.
This movie came out in 2008. So this was around the time when Fall Out Boy was still popular and like, all this like pop punk stuff and bands were really popular. This movie is actually pretty great quality for a B movie. I got it off of Redbox back in the day, like in 2008, and watched it because I went through a phase where all I watched was zombie movies. Like every single zombie movie that you can think of, I have seen. But like, well, at least if it was, back around 2010 and prior. But anyway, so I got this movie thinking it was going to be shitty and it was just going to be a B-rated movie. I was just going to, snack on some popcorn and just chill and watch it. And I ended up loving it. It's like, it's a good blend of humor and like a feel-good type movie. If you like the movie Fanboys, you'll like this one. It's about like these kids trying to go to prom, but there's like a zombie outbreak. And like, there's like and it has like the stereotypical, high school cliques and stuff that you would see in 2008 at the time. So like there's like a band and then like like they're just like a metal band and like all this stuff. It's really interesting and really funny. I would recommend it if you want a lighthearted zombie film that you're not gonna like watch it and be terrified. You'll just have a fun time.
I might have to check that out. I haven't heard of that.
It's good. And honestly, whenever I went to go Google search, I went best zombie movies. It was in the top list.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought I was like the only one who liked it. It has an 80% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics.
One of those hidden gems.
Yeah, definitely.
There was a couple of zombie movies when I was doing research that I haven't seen, so I couldn't put them on the list, but like I really want to see now. Like, like there's one called like Train to Busan or some shit. Or
that's
like,
on Netflix.
There's one about a fucking sheep that's going around killing everybody. Fucking, it's like a zombie sheep. I don't know. I want to see both of those really bad.
Train to Busan apparently is like a really good movie.
People have said it's like just a really good movie. Not even tier. Just for like zombies. Like it's just really good. Like
I'll probably watch that tonight.
I might watch that tonight too.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about it on the next one.
For sure. It's on some streaming service. If it's not on Netflix, it's on Prime or it's Hulu. I can't remember one of them.
Well, I got them all, so it should be. I'll find it.
Yeah, we'll watch it. Anyways, what you got?
Okay, my number 2 is Zombieland, of course. I don't know. I just love that damn movie so much, so. Yeah,
and it has like a set of rules that we should all live by in the COVID-19, apocalypse.
Double tap.
That's North Korea's idea.
That's North Korea's rule.
What was it? Stay limber.
Yeah. Stay limber for sure.
Yeah, you gotta. It's like cardio. Cardio is one of them. Yeah, I love it. Anyways, number 1 for me is I Am Legend.
Oh man.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
I Am Legend hits on the most emotional level ever. Like
it's because of the dog, man.
It's not just the dog. It is the dog, but it's also
it's all the dog.
If you want to see a movie,
that's all I cared about in that movie.
No, dude. If you want to see Will Smith's range as an actor, watch this fucking movie. Don't go watch 7 Pounds. Don't go watch something, one of his like Oscar bait movies. This movie was so real, dude. Like just him like singing, the Bob Marley songs and stuff like that, and just like him whenever he sees the mannequin and he just like flips the fuck out. In the part where he's in the movie store and he's like trying to build up the courage to talk to this girl mannequin, and like, she doesn't talk to him, and he just like, oh, it's heartbreaking. Like just watching Will Smith get his heart broken by a fucking mannequin. That's like how next level his acting was. The fact that
80% of that movie was just him by himself, and he like made it was interesting. Was like, that says a lot.
The zombies themselves aren't the main point in this movie. It's more about the idea of a man being alone, thinking he's the last person on the planet.
The zombies are interesting in the movie, though, because they follow their own little weird set of rules. Like, they like to be in the darkness, so like he can basically just walk around like nothing's going on
during the day.
Yeah, I like that. It was interesting. Cool little concept.
And he's like a doctor, and he's still trying to find the cure, like, because he didn't leave like the place because it was ground zero, is like where it started, and he was like, I'm gonna find the cure. And he watches his, like, I'm not gonna spoil it, but like he has nothing left to live for other than to find that cure. So like, even though he thinks the whole planet's dead, he's like, I'm not dying until I find this cure. And it's one of these things where like, it's just such an emotional movie. I've read the book. The book is good, but it's nowhere near what Will Smith brought to the movie, in my opinion.
Also, it's one of those movies that's like got really good special features. Like there's several alternate endings that are really interesting, and like, I don't know. I love that movie.
For sure. Anyways, what you got for number 1?
So number 1 for me is another one we've already talked about, but damn it, it's my favorite fucking zombie movie. 28 Days Later.
Oh, so you put both of the 28s.
I put both. They're both so good that I feel like they had to be on my list. Like, I love 28 Days Later. And 28 Weeks Later is good enough to, like, make it on the list even. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know.
And I think 28 Days Later was an indie film. Like, whenever, 28 Weeks wasn't by that time, but 28 Days Later was an indie film, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think they did it on a, modest budget. Like, I don't want to say, like, low budget, because they definitely cleared out, like, London to do that fucking,
that one
like,
scene, yeah.
But they did a good job with what they had, and, like, the acting was really good, the script was really good, the camera angles are good. I mean, for the time being, it was just, like, so epic and scary and weird.
And it had a very, like, at the time it came out, it felt like it was, like how I was talking about, like, bands being really popular and stuff. For some reason, there was this weird connection between, like, that movie and, like, people into that scene of like music and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Where like people who are really into music, I feel like 28 Days Later, like just the title, it affected or like inspired a lot of bands, like their naming.
Yeah, totally.
Like, it was really weird. Like it's something that only people who were in that time and space will remember. You can't really go back now and be like, oh, this is like same with I Am Legend.
I was about to say, it kind of came at a time where names of movies were kind of going with that trend, like the 30 Days of Night. And and
it's but in that correlation between like bands and stuff, like He Is Legend, the band and stuff like that, like people were looking towards these like darker, like more deep movies and like taking, inspiration to create their like band titles and stuff. I love that time. Something about that was cool.
Yeah, me too. I feel like zombies are gonna be popular again pretty soon.
I hope so.
I don't know.
Like I feel like I've been away from them long enough that I'm down to come back to it. To test it out. Not for Walking Dead. I'm not really into The Walking Dead, but like I want movies again.
Yes.
I want decent movies.
Yes.
Creative movies.
Yes.
Anyways, I'm sure a lot of people will be mad we didn't have Shaun of the Dead on there, but I'm just.
I couldn't get into. I mean, like I hate to be that guy, but it's like it's just not my favorite like zombie movie. Like it's one I've seen a million times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just not my humor. Like
everybody loves it so much. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not hating. It's just,
I can't get into any of those fucking movies like Hot Fuzz and fucking like I don't know what it is, man. It just like I don't click with their like jokes.
How dare you?
I hate to say it, because it's like so like revered as like the greatest, like zombie movie. I don't know.
That's the same thing with I think it's just like everybody has their own taste of humor. You know what I'm saying? So like not everybody's gonna love something. Like I love Hot Rod. I know a lot of people that fucking hate that movie.
Hot Rod is really funny.
You know what I'm saying? It's like there's people that walked out of the theater from that movie like
really?
just being like, this movie was shit. I'm like, it was so fucking funny though.
Dude, oh my god.
I've just learned not to take offense to people not liking my humor or whatever.
I think I've only walked out of a theater like one time in my whole life, and it was when we were watching Hostel. Yeah.
Yeah, that movie just didn't really get me humorously,
Yeah, I didn't get the jokes in that one.
I thought it was hilarious when they drilled that hole in that guy's chest. No, anyway, so that's it for the top 5 zombie movies. Hopefully we brought something to the table that you haven't seen, though I doubt it because those are all really popular.
Yeah,
besides Dance of the Dead, but like check them all out if you haven't. If you're not big into zombies, this will get you into it. Anyway, so now we're going to jump on over to the top 5 zombie games. You want to switch it off this time and you go first?
Yeah, I can switch it off.
Yeah, all right, Brent.
So the first game on my top 5 zombie games list, which is actually a much harder list than I expected it.
So number 5, you mean? Not the first game.
Yeah, number 5.
Okay.
Yeah. The first, the least important game on my list is the Walking Dead Telltale series.
Oh.
I really like this series mainly because it's so long and there's so much content and story there. Like if you were to buy like the Walking Dead Telltale Complete Edition or whatever that comes with all the different stuff, you would have just like a never-ending fucking story about like Lee and Clementine, and it's just such a detailed, beautiful story if you follow it all the way from the beginning, that I definitely recommend it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's all flexible, like the games interact with each other, so like your choices in season 1 affect season 2 and vice versa. You know what I mean? It's interesting.
Yeah, I remember you were playing that like forever, it felt like. But I guess that's just because they released it so slowly.
Yeah.
Number 5 for me is kind of me taking some liberty here, and I'm putting Halo Infection. So like the infection mode in Halo is one of my favorite zombie video game situations. So it's like it started in Halo 3, but I played it the most in Halo Reach. But what you do is like you start out, one person is the infected or whatever, and everybody else is trying to survive, and all you have is shotguns and pistols. And so like it's just really fun to have this, somebody playing as a flood running around trying to get you, and then like if you get killed, you become infected too until there's the last man standing, and then he tries to survive as long as possible. It just creates like a really fun atmosphere in the game.
That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm surprised more games don't do that,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Imagine like 100-player game like that where it's like,
oh my god,
they
do
drop
battle
you
royale with zombies.
Yes,
like
dude. Like where instead of dying, you just turn into a zombie. Like that would be so much fun.
Be fucking cool, dude.
And the circle shrinking, so you have like 50 zombies all forced to go closer into the circle. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's just based on how long you survive. Like
that would be really fun, dude. Like by the end of the game, you'd have this tiny circle with just like 100 zombies all trying to like get in the circle. You know what I mean? Like
it would force people to team up with each other to try and survive longer.
Yeah.
It like you wouldn't even have to do squads. It's just like instantly be like, all right, hey, let's stick together. Let's why hasn't that been done yet?
That would be really cool.
Anyways, what you got for number 4?
So number 4, I'm also taking a little bit of liberty here. The Red Dead Redemption Zombie DLC.
That wouldn't be liberty. That's like a full like zombie game.
Well, kind of. I mean, it's a DLC. You know what I mean? But it is like a full length, campaign kind of thing. Yeah. It's really good. It's cheesy, but it's like got a lot going for it, especially if you're a Red Dead Redemption fan and you just wanted more Red Dead Redemption at the time. But I like how you have to like shoot the zombies in the head, and like you can rope them up and stuff, and like hog tie them and drag them behind your horses, and like you can use your like slow mo. You end up having to use the slow mo thing a lot more because like the zombies will be like coming at you, and like you have to get headshots. You know what I mean? Like
I'm surprised they didn't do that for Red Dead Redemption 2.
I wish they would have. That would have been sick.
Oh yeah. Number 4 for me, I'm not going to talk much about it just because I'm sure it's on your list too, and we'll talk about it whenever we get to yours, but it's Call of Duty Zombies. is obviously one of the best zombie games.
Not on my list at all, actually.
Really? That's surprising. Okay, so Call of Duty Zombies. I mean, like, since World at War has been...
It's not even on my honorable mentions, unfortunately. I didn't think about it, but you're right.
Top tier.
It is top tier. You got to have it on there.
I remember, like, getting it on my iPod Touch, like whenever they released it for the iPod Touch, and me and my brother just, like, would Bluetooth each other and, like, just sit there and play it in our room at night, like, just hours on end.
Me too. You know what made Zombies so great wasn't the zombies or wasn't the gameplay, or like, it was the fucking secrets that the developers like hid in these levels. Like, they would tuck the most intricate fucking like secrets away and like reward you whenever you found them. Like, you get some kind of crazy weapon or something, and like, I don't know, it was just like, you could tell they really wanted people to like go the extra mile looking for Easter eggs, and then there's this like added pressure of like trying to find the Easter eggs while the zombies are all rushing you and stuff. It's just much fun, and it was like the most fun to play with friends, like out of all of them. It's
one of those games that like local co-op or like it's just like local multiplayer survived for way longer than it probably would have because of this.
Dude, no doubt. That's 100% facts right there.
Anyways, what you got for number 3?
Yeah. Number 3 for me is Dying Light.
Ooh, good call.
Dying Light was a really good game. It's just like the perfect blend of like parkour and like zombie killing and like
open worldness.
Yeah, the zombies are really tough and like
extremely tough, especially at night.
Well, yeah, exactly. So you got to like find the good weapons, and you got to like not stay out too late, and you gotta like use your skills. Like, usually if you just stick to the rooftops and stuff, you're good, you know what I mean?
Usually
but it's like, I don't know, there's an interesting dynamic to it where it's like, okay, you want to kind of like stay out of sight, you want to like get off the beaten path, it's like one of those games that's like layered vertically, like Dishonored or something. So like, there's incentive to like climb and go upwards instead of like sideways,
Yeah, you don't want to set off car alarms or anything like that. It's like, it's just kind of crazy. Like, any sound will set them off. It's like if you took Far Cry and just made it a zombie game with parkour.
Exactly. And speaking of Far Cry, I mean, it looks good like Far Cry too. I mean, for its time, it was like one of the best looking games out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All kinds of fun little secrets to find in this game too. Like,
and upgrades.
Upgrades.
It's just fun.
It was a good game.
Number 3 for me is State of Decay 2. Especially now, like if you have nothing to do and you have Game Pass, jump into State of Decay 2 and you will just lose so much of your time.
The first one's kind of fun too. It's not as deep or as complex as the second one, but it's got a lot going for it.
Yeah, it's basically a simulation game, but a third-person action game at the same time. So like, you're just in this open world zombie apocalypse, and like if your character dies, he dies for good. Like you come back as a different character and stuff like that. So like, if you build up this character's stats or whatever, you will lose all of it if they die, and that's not very fun.
In my opinion, the best thing about State of Decay is like looting places. Like, I really love searching buildings and stuff. Like, it was such a good feeling, especially since like, State of Decay does a good thing with like, Walking Dead, how they make a big point, like, don't shoot your gun unless you absolutely have to, or else all the zombies will come because they hear the noise, That's kind of a thing in State of Decay. So like, you're walking around with like melee weapons, and then like if shit hits the fan, you shoot a gun off, like all of a sudden zombies are coming from everywhere. You're like rushing to your car, Yeah,
and every now, so like you're building up like your home base, and like it'll get swarmed randomly, so like you want to set up defenses and things like that. It's pretty interesting.
Totally.
Anyways, what you got for number 2?
So number 2 for me is one of my favorites. Just favorite games ever. Dead Rising, the original Dead Rising. I just love that game. I don't know, something about being able to just pick up whatever you want, and like the photography modes where you'd like take pictures of like hordes of zombies, and it would like draw a little circle and give you points for every like zombie in the picture, or like,
Yeah, it was a sandbox inside of a mall. Like it was like, it wanted you to experiment, and like try different things, like with everything.
And I like how the mall setting gave it so much diversity. Like, every store had a different theme. Like, you go into the hardware store, and you'd like pick up a fucking, you know, chainsaw or something, or you'd go into like the guitar store and like get guitars, you know,
it's or just skateboard.
Oh, so much fun, dude. And like the mall itself was like laid out pretty and like looked like a real mall. It just had that feeling. Like if you've ever like just had that, like as a kid, you just wanted to like get locked in a mall overnight and play with everything. It's like that's kind of like what this game just lets you do. And then the boss fights are really fun and interesting and weird, you know, in true Capcom fashion, you know. I don't know.
For sure. Yeah, and it has a lot of Easter eggs too, like the little Lego Man looking people from Mega Man.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like
Even
that. Even
the Mega Man blaster itself you can get, you know. I don't know. There's just so much going for that game, and like the story is weird and interesting, and I like the 3-day like progression system where like every day is a different, like the enemies get different, and like the story changes, and things that you can come across in the mall change, and like.
Yeah, I like stuff like that too, like the internal clock, you know, having a big mechanic for the game. Yeah. Number 2 for me is Left 4 Dead 2. Left 4 Dead 2 is just one of the best, you know, like multiplayer games out there.
Really good game, yeah.
Yeah, and it looked beautiful at the time it came out. I haven't played it in a while, so I don't know if it still holds up graphically, but
not really. The gameplay still holds up though.
Yeah, it's just it's a Valve game, you know, so expect high quality, you know, whenever it comes to the gameplay. And it's just like it was one of those games that you play so much that you learn all the names of like the enemies and stuff.
Yeah, you learn when stuff would happen, like when you get rushed by a horde or something. You're like, all right, be ready, everybody.
There's like bloaters, and then the witch. Like the witch is like one of the coolest concepts to me. Like, you know, like, and when the witch attack, you know, like if you alert the witch, dude, you're just fucked. You know. Yeah, I love that game. For sure.
Okay, I think my number 1. Is gonna have to be Resident Evil 2 Remake for sure.
Damn.
It's just so fucking good, dude. Like, it's one of the best games I've ever played. I mean, it's really, really good. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful, and it's a remake, but also it's its own thing. You know, even if like they call it a remake, but I feel like it's literally its own game. You know?
Definitely. I'm expecting it to be like the best zombie game out until fucking 3 gets remade, you know? And even then, I don't know if 3 is going to have as much love put into it as 2 did. You know what I mean? Like,
it's coming too soon after 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, they pumped it out so fast. I mean, the demo played really good, so I've got high hopes, but like...
But it's also more action-y and kind of goes away from like the whole, you know, what Resident Evil 2 really is. And it's like that.
I don't know. Everybody keeps saying that, but the demo felt just like Resident Evil 2.
Really?
I mean, it's fucking Resident Evil 2, except you can dodge roll. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's not bad.
I don't know. People always, I don't know. You might get more weapons and stuff, more ammo, you know, but I think you'll have to use it more. I don't know. I don't think it'll be like, it's still terrifying. Like, there's a part in the demo where you're like walking through a police station and shit's like popping out at you. It's scary as fuck.
Nice.
And Nemesis is scarier than fucking Tyrant ever will be, like, in my opinion.
Damn, don't tell that to him. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. No, my number 1 is Resident Evil 4, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, one of it was actually the first Resident Evil game I ever beat. Played it on my GameCube, 2 discs, and it just felt so cool to play. Like, it was the first time that it went to the like over the shoulder. You know, you're kind of it's less block movement. You know, like or like blocky movement. It was over the shoulder, third person. You could zoom in and like just cap people. The only problem with it now is that you can't move when you're aiming down sight, you know, which is it wouldn't hold up nowadays.
Feels wrong, yeah.
Yeah. Which I think you know, that's the only reason this game needs a remake is because of that. But it was also really cool because it was in a different setting than the rest of the Resident Evils, you know, like it was more like in the woods and out in the middle of nowhere. You know, in like this small creepy village and stuff. Like, I don't know. I loved it.
See, I kind of made a point to not pick 4, 5, and 7 on Resident Evil because, like, while it's definitely still like a zombie game, like there's not very many zombies in the game. You know what I mean? Like most of those people, I guess you could technically call them zombies, but like they're walking around with like weapons and stuff and like using them intelligently. You know what I mean?
They were zombies though.
True.
They still had the infection because whenever you'd shoot their head off, it would pop out as that thing.
The parasite thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they were more parasite. It was closer to The Last of Us whenever it comes to like creatures than it was a Resident Evil game.
Yeah. And that's how 7 was too, kind of, as far as like just the idea of like the parasite evolving. But it all does spawn from like the base,
the T virus.
Yeah, the T virus. So
yeah,
definitely acceptable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's all of our that's our top zombie games and our top zombie movies. But before we move on, I think I had let's see, Jason Domican sent in a thing, and he said. Probably the first Dead Rising. He sent in his favorite zombie game. I asked for everybody's favorite zombie game, and he said probably the first Dead Rising.
Hell yeah.
It was like a dream come true. Me and my best buddy used to always talk about what a perfect zombie game would be like, and we always said you need to have two things, an open world, and you should be able to use absolutely anything. Then boom, Dead Rising came out.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. It was the next level when it came out.
Oh, yeah, dude. He said, just couldn't believe the level of detail also, as it was the first thing I ever played on a 360. And my favorite movie is Dawn of the Dead, 2004.
Hey!
Yeah, great minds think alike.
I'm telling you.
He said, no idea why just once again it's set in a mall and there's no better place to have fun, no better place to have fun, eat food and kick zombie ass than in a mall. So yeah, thanks Jason Domican. Obviously, we think very much alike.
Definitely.
But we also had Kenny write in for his game, and he just said, "Does the flood count from Halo?" Which I guess technically, yeah.
I mean, it has to.
Yeah, and so Halo for sure. Canesto Alberta is his Instagram name. But yeah, so let's jump on over to the People's Champ, Brent.
Yes, the champion of the people.
This is the listener who gave us the most dope question. It will be the People's Champ, and then we'll answer the rest of the listener questions for those who don't know what we're doing.
Sorry, hang on, I'm trying to find. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Sorry, a lot of questions this week, guys.
It's so hard to choose all your beautiful questions.
Okay. I'm gonna give it to Heather this week. She says, if you could play a VR game that had a part where you had to escape from an animal, which animal would you be the most afraid of to run from?
A shark.
Absolutely
a shark.
Really?
I'm so terrified of sharks.
Really?
Dude, they're just floating death machines, like that can swim like fucking like 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, I get why they're scary, but that's the one animal.
They're dead fucking eyes, bro. You look into their eyes and all it is death. Like, have you ever just stared into the eye of a great white shark? Not in real life, but like in a picture or something.
No, yeah.
They're like beady little...
But you just get out of the water and you're good, you know?
Not if you have to swim away from it. Say you're like...
Oh, that would be a fun game mechanic, too.
Yeah, you're like 20 feet out from shore.
Oh, fuck.
Like, what do you do in that situation?
Just swim your ass
and
off, dude.
One bite, it takes your whole fucking leg, bro.
Yeah.
Your whole fucking leg, bro.
Good thing you got 2 of them.
What if you don't? No,
shit.
What if it grabs both of your legs?
Shit, dude.
I don't want to get eaten by a shark.
Yeah.
Man.
I guess for me, it would be like a long hallway with like hundreds of snakes coming at me really fast or something.
I'm not really afraid of snakes. I don't know why. I mean,
I'm not really afraid of sharks, so I like, kind of feel you.
It's like, but that's good. I guess we both need to have different fears in case we're stuck in the situation. Then we can help each other.
I'm not really afraid of like one single snake. I'm talking about like lots and lots of snakes, and they're all like aggressively charging me. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So you're like Indiana Jones. You don't like snakes.
I mean, it's again, it has to be lots of snakes.
Just to be very specific. That's what you want in your VR game, though, is to be chased by a bunch of snakes.
It's not what I want. It's like what would scare me the most.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
That's so snakes. Lots of snakes.
Lots of snakes.
Okay.
Like fuckloads of snakes. Like
I've had it like with these motherfucking snakes.
Like that Plague's Tale Innocence game, except
with
instead of rats, it's just snakes.
Okay.
Just fuckloads of them.
Snakes. next? Anyways, thank you for that question, Heather.
Yeah. Good question. All right, moving on. We got Hans here.
Hans?
He says, since everyone is in quarantine and COVID-19 friendly, what character out there would be the most useful in sanitizing my hypothetical castle? My first thought was Luigi because he already has that vacuum, but I'll leave it to the experts.
Well, first off, that was a good attempt there, Hans. But you should have went with Mario from Super Mario Sunshine, because the whole point of that game is him cleaning up the city.
Yeah, or Dr. Mario.
Or Dr. Mario.
He's got a very good set of sanitizing utensils and fucking, he knows all about what needs to be done in a situation like this.
Yeah, he's got all the pills you need. He just drops them in and it kills the virus. Actually, that's literally the point of Dr. Mario is you're trying to kill the viruses.
So honestly, just Dr. Mario. You just need him to hop around throwing pills at everybody.
For sure. And then he can wet you down.
Whoa.
It's me, Mario. No, but anyways, thank you, Hans. That was a good question.
Good question. All right, we got Christina here. Christina Rogers, she says, I saw a meme the other day that said, you're either Doom Eternal or you're Animal Crossing. There is no in-between. Which would each of you fall under?
I mean, technically, I guess since I went with Animal Crossing, I'm Animal Crossing. But the thing is I don't believe that meme because I love both. Like, I really love Doom 2016, but I also really love Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand in the face of adversity, and I think this is more of like a you as a person, not about like what you are, but like you are Doom Eternal or you are Animal Crossing. You know what I mean?
I'm probably Animal Crossing then. I'm too soft. I couldn't. There's no way I'd be Doom Marine or like Doom Guy.
Yeah, I'm more Animal Crossing. I think if I had to pick one,
Yeah, you don't just see me walking around just listening to Djent constantly, you know what I'm saying? It's not me.
Yeah. Tell us what you guys would be in the comments, I guess.
I want to know.
Yeah. All right, we got Cody Goolsby here.
The ghoul.
He says, so how long until we see a game based on this pandemic? Who would be the best company to do it?
Oh, man, that's definitely coming. I think...
What would it even be about? Like stay home simulator? Like what?
No. But it would obviously be hyperbole, and it would be like a Plague's Tale. Like they would just explode it like that. But it would have to be like 50.
Plague's Tale 2020.
Yeah, it'll probably be like 100 years from now when they make it, so no one alive can be like, that's not what happened at all.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna have to definitely embellish some details because this shit boring.
Yeah. It's quite boring. Unless you have it, then it's not boring.
Yeah,
but
maybe that's what the game could be.
Yeah, you have it and you gotta survive.
Ooh, maybe it'll be like 2 Point Hospital DLC or some shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the best. Maybe like the people who made State of Decay. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they could do it.
You just have to survive, like, not getting it somehow.
Social distancing.
Social distancing.
That's the game right there.
VR.
People come and knock on your door, and you have to, not answer it.
You have to make it seem like you're not there. Like, or, pull, the Home Alone where you have, a Michael Jordan, dancing in the... Anyways, okay, what else we got?
All right, good question. We got Jasmine McKee here. She says, if you had only one game to play while in quarantine, what would it be?
Only one. We talked about this last week, and my number one was Animal Crossing. So I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to say Animal Crossing. Right now, New Horizons. But I would say about 4 days in. Once you're 4 days in, then then you can Animal Cross. You know?
I think for me, it's probably right now. It's definitely Half-Life. I mean, I know it's not the longest game. It's not going to keep me, held over until the end of quarantine or whatever. No. But as far as what I want, there's almost literally nothing I want to do more than play that game. So there you go.
Yeah, for sure. Good call. All right, was that it?
That's it on Facebook side of things.
Okay.
What do we got over on the...
On the Instagram, we got Super Beaner.
What up, Super Peter?
He says, are y'all going to stream more often? At least right now, while I'm in self-quarantine, yeah, I'm definitely going to be streaming at least, like, I'm thinking, like, once a day or once every other day, just because, I mean, like, why not? It was fun chilling and playing games with you guys, so.
Hey, can I get your stream on?
Yeah, me and Brent might stream some Cuphead.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Anyways, and then we have all Onzy Jonesy. He says, should brick and mortar video game stores be allowed to sell reproduction copies of games? Which I believe the reason why he's asking is because I think he bought, I could be wrong about this, but I think if you live in the Conroe Woodlands area, there's a place in the Woodlands Mall called Game World or something now, and it's like they sell retro games and stuff like that. And he went and bought Mario Party 2 for the N64, I think is the game that he bought. And whenever he got home, he checked out looked at the bottom of the cart, like looking at the chip, like the thing that plugs into the console, and the numbers on it were not the correct type of numbers that should be there. Therefore,
so it was like a fake.
Yes, it was a fake. And they sold it to him
it work?
At an expensive price. Yeah, but it's not real, so like he paid like the going price, which is probably close to $80 if I'm guessing right. And then it wasn't the legit thing. So no,
they can't take it back and get a refund for it or something?
I don't know. Let us know what happened with that, because I don't know if I don't know what the deal is with it, but
well, I don't know. I feel like there's a couple factors here. If you're asking us, should they be allowed to? I think that's more of Nintendo's beef. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's the people's beef too, because if you're paying for the legit game, like say you're a collector,
I think they should be upfront with it. But I think they should definitely be allowed to. I mean, as far as if you tell me that it's a working copy of a game, and it is a working copy of a game,
yeah, but you can't sell it for the going price of the legit game.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think you definitely need to have some kind of sticker on it that says, "Hey, this game will work and function, but it's not an original."
It's a ROM or some shit. Yeah,
because some people just want to play the game, and if it functions for that purpose, then that's fine. I think you just need to let people know.
Yeah, for sure. Be upfront about it.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because I'm okay with more copies of games, especially rare games that will never get a chance to play. That'd be cool to have some more of those circulating. You know what I mean? But
it's definitely not legal. So yeah, they shouldn't be able to do that. Anyways, but. Well, we're going to round out the show. Thanks for all the questions, guys. If you have any questions you want read on the show next week, just drop it in our Instagram or on our Instagram or in the Facebook group at facebook.com/group/GameSpeak podcast. We're going to round out the show with Brent's
Super Hardcore Video Game Trivia Challenge. These are 5 questions that want to show you a hole in the wall where the kids can see it all.
What? Well, a glory hole?
Yes. This week's topic is
Resident Evil.
I like that. Resident Evil.
Okay. Number 1. What? Oh, by the way, I'm doing multiple choice this week. So.
Oh, sweet. I like that.
Yeah. Number 1. What is Resident Evil called in Japan?
Biohazard.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, but I already know it.
I put a lot of thought into making these damn questions.
All right, read the question.
Yes, it is C, Biohazard. God damn.
Look, you can't get the... I felt good. I know it. I want to jump
That's great and all, but, I work hard to make funny fucking choices for your fucking choice thing, so damn it.
Okay, I'm sorry, Brett. All right, read the other answers.
All right, number 2.
No, you can go back and
no, it's okay. I mean, we got it. All
right, next time I'll just wait. Yeah. I'll wait. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So number 2. Okay.
I know it. No, I'm just kidding.
You just shout the answer
before you even read the question.
This one should be a little harder than the first one, so hopefully you won't just know it right off the jump. All right. You probably will. In what fictional mountain range near Raccoon City did the T-virus originate? Mm-hmm. Is it A, the Arklay Mountains, B, the Chesapeake Mountains, C, the Golden Ridge Mountains, or D, the Esquire Mountains?
I'm going to say D.
Ooh, no.
What is it?
It's going to be a hard A right there.
Ah.
Yeah. Arklay Mountains. That's okay. It's okay. You're 1 for 1 here.
Our Clay sounded like some shit you made up.
I know. I was trying to kind of make the other one sound like something I made up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Number 3.
Okay.
A key element of the story in Resident Evil 6. Which mutation which mutation of the T virus is said to be a new fast-acting zombie virus? Is it A, the A virus, B, the B virus, C, the C virus, or D, the D virus?
Oh my god. Oh, this is so hard. I'm going to say the B virus.
Oh no, it was the C virus.
Oh my goodness. Yep. I only had 4 options. I didn't play 6. 6 was the only Resident Evil I haven't played. So.
I feel like 6 gets a bad rep. It's not as bad as everybody makes it out to be. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
All right, number 4. Who is the main protagonist in Resident Evil 7? Is it A, Ethan Summers, B, Ethan Winters, C, Ethan Springer, or D, Ethan Fallon?
Ethan Summers.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was B, Ethan Winters.
Was it?
Yes.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry.
Doesn't even sound like a real name.
I know, especially when you put it next to Ethan Summers, which sounds a lot more like a real name.
I thought you were just making shit up again. So I lost this week. All right, give me the last one.
All right, the last one. You got this. Believe.
I don't.
You can redeem it. Which of the following is not a real animated Resident Evil movie? Okay.
All right.
A, Resident Evil Vendetta. B, Resident Evil Isolation. C, Resident Evil Damnation. Or D, Resident Evil Degeneration.
Isolation.
Hey, you got it.
Yeah, I know Damnation is legit. I know, actually, all those other ones I knew were legit because I worked at Game Exchange.
I can imagine the Vendetta cover right now because it's like that pistol in the hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember having to put those on the shelf. All right, yeah. So, well, that was a sucky. I came out strong. Fucking blew my load on the first one.
It's okay. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. You know,
Biohazard. Yeah, what were the options though for the first one? I want to know what your fake ass options were.
Oh, this was the hardest one to come up with fakes for. What is Resident Evil called in Japan? It was A, Umbrella, B, Resident Evil Begins, C, Biohazard, or D, Sweet Home, which was actually my trick question. Part of that,
Home
because Sweet Home, yeah,
is the inspiration.
I knew you would know that, and I knew it might throw you off a little. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Fucking nerd over here. Yeah, that's it's pretty cool that it was inspired by something else that was literally just a top-down weird ass arcade Atari game. But it's how do you get that from? Dude,
yeah, for real. And apparently they even use some of the assets from that game and stuff or something. I'm not sure.
For a light bulb or something. It is. Well, that's it for the show this week, guys. Remember, you've been listening to the GameSpeak podcast courtesy of CreateForSanity.com. The show posts for free every Wednesday on all podcast directories. Be sure to submit any questions you want read on the show to the GameSpeak podcast Facebook group at facebook.com/group/GameSpeak podcast. Check out our video content on YouTube at youtube.com/CreateForSanity and leave us a comment there. Hit like, subscribe, all that stuff, and turn on notifications. And if you want to stay up to date with your boys, you can find me on Twitter at the handle Jamal and Brent at BrentHas1. That's the number 1. And check out the GameSpeak podcast Instagram. Until next time, listeners. Bye.